Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's Dealer On webinar, where we're going to learn Elise Kephart's entire internet sales process 2.0. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. For anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the award-winning Chameleon responsive website platform. We're so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that DealerOn is still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. And you can check us out at our gorgeous brand new DealerOn website at DealerOn.com. Also, DealerOn is going to be exhibiting and presenting at the upcoming NADA convention. We have the best booth around, so remember to stop by booth 1161 and get this, if you pre-schedule a demo with us, we're going to give you $100. And if you buy on the floor, we're going to hand over an Apple Watch. Your demo also comes with a free audit of your choice. We'll go over the results in person at our booth, and to top it all off, we'll toss in a copy of the new book we wrote on local SEO. And hey, while you're getting your NADA on, please check out the speaking sessions from these DealerOn executives. Booth 1161, I'm going to be there, and oh, by the way, yeah, we have an open bar. That's right. Hope to see you there. We have a great show in store for you today. We have the one and only Elise Kephart as our presenter today. Elise Kephart is the founder of the Elise Kephart Experience, a company focused on helping dealerships strengthen their process, sales teams, and lead handling, utilizing tactics with an emphasis on improving phone skills and utilizing video email. An international sales and marketing phenomenon in the auto industry, Elise is nationally recognized as the YouTube diva for her persuasive, personalized video greetings. Since 2007, she has sold countless vehicles to clients by creating a strong bond with her customers through the power of unique video messaging. Among her high-volume sales, she's also earned top-performing CSI. With her unique approach to videos, her phone skills, and sales background, Elise has visited dealerships across the country, teaching her one-of-a-kind method. Her approach has been praised by the likes of Ziegler, Cardone, and Bradley, and she has been published in magazines both in the U.S. and Canada. Elise has presented at seminars including Ziegler's IBP, Driving Sales Executive Summit, Digital Dealer, and the General Motors 2015 Compass Tour. And she can be reached at Elise Kephart Experience at EliseKephart.com. Excuse me. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, we're going to try to respond by email later today. Don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at the Elise Kephart Experience, they're giving away a ton of great prizes on today's webinar. First, 2 of you lucky webinar attendees will win an Elise Kephart shirt. Excuse me, I would like one of those. One lucky attendee after that is going to win a Logitech 1080p webcam and microphone so you can hook it up to your computer and keep making great video emails. And then finally, one very lucky attendee is going to win a private 2-hour CRM dive-in session with Elise Kephart herself. She's going to remote into your CRM and for 2 hours work your leads with you and show you firsthand how to raise your closing ratio. That's a tremendous prize for you and your entire dealership. You have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned, and who knows, you could be one of those people walking away with one of these awesome prizes today. Also, at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to get a short survey. So fill it out because we're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. And we want your opinion to be heard. And hey, do you tweet much? Well, gosh, we certainly hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation, so tag us in it. You can use hashtag DealerOnWebby. I'm at Eliana Raggio. You can also hit up Elise Kephart at the YouTube Diva. We really look forward to seeing what you're saying. So let's get started. Let's learn all about Elise Kephart's entire internet sales process 2.0. Elise Kephart, to say that I am excited about today's presentation would be a complete understatement. I am thrilled you are here today, and this topic has got everyone talking. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you in advance for sharing so much great information, because I got a sneak peek at your deck, and people, I'm just going to let you know, I hope you have a very sharp pencil and a lot of paper because you're going to be taking a lot of notes. Elise, where do we begin? What's the kind of things that we're going to be learning about today?
Well, it looks like actually I want to open up with a poll question. Do you have that poll question ready to go?
Absolutely, I do. All right, audience, we only have two poll questions today. First one is on your screen now. We'd love it if you take part in our poll question. We want to know where you stand when it comes to engagement. So, out of 100 random internet prospects that you get at your dealership, how many are responding and engaging with you? Now, that means engaging with you by either email, text, phone, anything like that. All right, so please select one of the following. We're rock stars over here, so we're around 90% engagement. We're not doing too bad. We're above average. We're at around 75% engagement. Out of 100 internet prospects, I'll admit we could use improvement. We're about 50% engagement. Oh boy, do we need some help. We're only at about 30% engagement if we're lucky. And last answer, I'm honestly too embarrassed to say. We need Elise at our dealership. Once we get a majority of the votes in, we'll close this poll and share the results. And Elise, from you going around the country, what do you think is the average of, the dealerships out there out of 100 internet prospects? How much engagement do you think that they're getting on average?
Based off of this poll and based off of my experience going around with dealerships, the most difficult thing typically is actually getting that customer to communicate with you when it comes in as an internet customer. So I'm going to guess the majority of this poll is going to be at that 30% if they're lucky. That seems typically to be the response when I speak with BDC managers, general managers, and so forth. The biggest problem is I can't get these customers to call me back, and I can't seem to get them to respond to me.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, now that we have a majority of the votes in, let's close this poll and see what today's audience had to say. All right, 5%, only 5% of today's audience claim to be rock stars about engagement, with about 90% engagement. 20% of today's audience say they're not doing too bad. They're above average, around 75% engagement. But the majority, 50% of today's audience, admit that they could use improvement. They're hanging around 50% engagement. 21% of today's audience believe that they're around 30% engagement if they're lucky. And 3% of today's audience admit that they need you at their dealership. They're too embarrassed to say what their engagement is. Elise, does that help you out?
That does help me out. The reason that I asked that, like I said, is because we're going to go over a lot of material today, so I hope you have your notes ready. But that typically seems to be the biggest problem. We saw on this poll that most of you put that you're getting about 50% engagement, which means the other 50 customers aren't responding to you. And I'm going to start from the beginning here. When a new internet customer comes in, right, a lot of times we get notified on our cell phone, or maybe it comes as a notification to our CRM, and it says, hey, you have a new internet lead. Now I want to discuss that word lead real quick, and Bobby Heron, who's a good friend of mine, has discussed this in a previous webinar before. Calling your customers internet leads, while it's natural to call them leads, let's replace our verbiage with an internet customer. By calling them leads alone, by calling your customers an internet lead, you're negatively approaching the opportunity that you have here. Because if we look at the internet traffic that is coming in, it's just like any other customer. When a customer walks into your dealership, that's considered a walk-in customer. We don't call them a walk-in lead, right? So let's change our verbiage. Let's change our mindset right from the beginning and start treating these internet leads as internet customers, because that's exactly what they are. From their perspective, what typically happens is they're doing some type of research online, whether it's on your website directly, whether it's a third-party website, whether maybe it's a TRUECAR or a pricing guide website. They took the time to fill out some type of form. So think about that for a minute. For them to type in their name, their email, sometimes their phone number, which we're going to go over in just a moment. We don't do that by mistake. It's not by accident, right? You can do all the blind research that you want online, but to actually fill out a form, it means that they want to get some type of information you know, one way or the other. Otherwise, they wouldn't have filled out the form in the first place. It's our duty, whether you run your internet department cradle to the grave or whether you have a business development center who strictly focuses on scheduling appointments, it's our duty and responsibility to provide this customer with the highest level of customer service. And so, you know, when we're taught typically when it comes to internet customers, you know, we're taught, okay, well, all we got to do is just get them in, right? And if we look at, you know, the types of customers, when a customer is face-to-face with you, when you schedule an appointment, you know, that customer is, you have the highest chance of being able to earn that customer's business because they're face-to-face with you. But in order to get that customer face-to-face with somebody or face-to-face with you if you're working at cradle to the grave, you know, we need to get a live phone call. That's going to be our best opportunity. A live phone call is so much more powerful than email or texting, you know, because it's a live conversation and you can utilize your voice to, you know, to show your tone inflection and your personality and so forth, versus words on a screen are pretty dry. But the hardest part is, you know, so many of us, you know that we need to get the phone call, and a lot of times even when we get the phone call, we butcher the phone call once the phone call is actually, once the internet customer has turned into a live phone call. You know, very often when I go to dealerships or when I've heard calls in the past, a lot of times it's easy for us to get caught up in trying to sell the car over the phone. And you know, there's a statistic, and I can vouch for this 100%. I've been out of retail now for almost a few years, and I've made car purchases since then. And even myself being in the car industry, there's been a couple times now where I went in to purchase one vehicle and I bought something different, whether it was a different vehicle altogether or a different color. 86% of car buyers are going to fit that category, meaning 86% of car buyers buy something different from what they originally inquired on. So again, when you get that live connection, all right, we want to focus that live phone call on an appointment, because that appointment is going to allow us to be face-to-face with the customer. It's going to be our highest opportunity of being able to earn that customer's business. So avoid, if you know, what you're going to notice here later on in the webinar today is when we get that live connection, we are not selling the car over the phone, right? We are taking the proper steps to take our internet customer, get the engagement of them, right? Get the engagement so that they respond to us. Take that engagement to a live phone call, and the live phone call is going to be your best opportunity to take it down the correct pathway to an appointment. As I had mentioned before, you know, we get the internet notification. We know that we need to get a phone call, but that typically is the biggest challenge. And we took that poll question earlier. Getting that customer to actually respond to you. You know, a lot of times we hear, well, I can't seem to get them on the phone. They don't seem to be calling me back. So that's what we're going to dive into right now, as far as that process to get the customer engaged. It looks like we have another poll question.
Yes, we do. Our second poll question is on the screen now. All right, audience, we want to know, currently in your internet follow-up process, how many scheduled phone calls do you make in 2 days to one prospect? So you get one prospect, and in the next 48 hours, how many times do you reach out to that prospect? All right. We want to know, is it 0? I wait for the prospect to give me permission. You call them once. You call them once a day, so that would be a total of 2. You make a few phone calls to them, maybe 3 or 4, but only if you have the time, because, you know, you're busy selling cars. Or we're buy or die over here, 7 to 10 calls at least. We want to know, in your current internet follow-up process, how many scheduled phone calls do you make in 2 days to one prospect? Once we get a majority of the votes in, we will close this poll and share the results. And I assume, Elise, that you are going to be telling us exactly how many we should be doing.
Yes. So we're going to be able to see pretty black and white here of why this process that I'm going to show you works. So we'll wait for those polls to come in.
Votes are still coming in. Audience, you guys are rocking it out there. Thank you so much. Somebody wrote in, we do 3 phone calls in our follow-up process, but I don't like that answer. Sorry, I didn't out you. It's okay. But thank you for your honesty. We appreciate it. All right. Oh, gosh, almost everyone is voting now. So hold on a few more seconds, and let's close this poll and share the results. Audience, thank you so much for getting involved with this poll question. It's our last poll question of today. The rest is all Elise. All right, here we go. Only 2% of today's audience say that they don't call them at all and that they wait for the prospect to give them permission. 7% of today's audience say that they make one phone call in 2 days to one prospect. The majority, however, 46% of today's audience say they do once a day, so that's 2. So they do 2 phone calls in 2 days. Another 40% of today's audience say they do a few phone calls, maybe 3 or 4, but, you know, of course, only if they have time. And then the last 6% of today's audience say that they're buy or die over here. They do 7 to 10 calls at least in 2 days' time. So, Elise, where do we go from here?
So this poll, this is kind of exactly where I expected it. Once a day, so a total of 2 calls on an internet customer in 2 days. And that seems to be the majority of you. And that typically is what most dealerships do. They call once, maybe send an email, and then you know, call the next day, maybe send an email again, and you know, maybe even the 3rd day you continue that process, and by the 4th day you haven't heard from them, so you don't think they're interested. And a lot of times we get demotivated and we want to mark them lost, right?
Well, just so you know, we did have a number of people who wrote in just to let us know some more insight. Mike, for instance, wrote in, once we have permission, then we go full court press. Josh wrote in, I personally do 1 call every 2 days, but I text every day. Carolina says, we're buy or die over here. And then James says, we do 2 a day, but if I have the time, has nothing to do with our process, LOL. So there you go.
So real quick, I want to discuss the waiting for permission. If I were to write an email, let's say a customer fills out a form and I have a phone number, all right? If they didn't want a phone number, they would have put a 555 phone number, right? I have an email and I have a first and last name. If my first response to that customer is an email that says, and I've seen this, hey, how would you prefer to be communicated with, email, text, or a phone call? Most customers, if I ask them that, are going to say, oh, email, definitely. That's better. You know, it's less confrontational from the customer's perspective. They can do it on their own time, right? But from our perspective, email or texting really is the worst form of communication. Not to say that it doesn't get engagement, but we want to take those plain words. We want to take emails and so forth. The whole purpose, again, is to get that phone call. So this process that I'm going to dive into, some of you guys are going to probably fall out of your seat right now, but it's going to be an actual 8 phone calls in 2 days. Now, we're not just randomly going to call the customer, right? From the very beginning, you're going to pick up, let me click on this, you're going to pick up your office line and you're going to call the customer. I'm not going to wait for permission, because if I can get this customer on the phone, if they've put in a phone number for me, then all the better advantage for me working at a dealership. Now, a lot of times what happens, though, is when we call that first time, most of you guys are probably familiar with this, you get the voicemail. So when you get a voicemail, to speed up the process a little bit, if you don't know this shortcut, let's say you're listening to that customer's voicemail where it says, hey, it's Eliana, leave me a message, maybe if it's even a longer voicemail. If you don't want to listen to their whole voicemail, you just want to wait for the beep to leave your message, you can hit pound when you hit that, when you hear their voicemail. It'll take you right to the end so that you can just leave your voicemail. Now, the way this process is developed is right from the beginning when we leave this voicemail, okay? Because the whole purpose of this, again, is they don't pick up the phone right away. We need to get them engaged. We need to get that live phone call, right? So everything around this process is designed around that. And when you leave your first voicemail, there's a couple bullet points. This is what I call the bulletproof voicemail. You want to introduce yourself, thank the customer. You need to give them a reason to call back, as well as share your contact information back, and crucial here, set the expectation. I'm going to go through the script, or the script in that on this voicemail in just a moment. But looking at these bullet points, you want to hit these you essentially want to hit these bullet points every time. And you know, most voicemails that we hear a lot of times when I do mystery shops, it's natural to just say, hey, Eliana, it's Elise here at ABC Motors, just following up with you in regards to your online requests. Call me back when you have a moment. I want to see what information I can get for you, and I'll talk to you soon. And that's a voicemail that I used to leave way back in the day before I put myself through training. But the key to this voicemail is, again, hitting all of those bullet points. So here's an example. When you get an internet customer, you call them from your office line and you get a voicemail. It's going to say, and you want to be sure to make sure that you're in a positive mindset, you know, even if you had a bad night the night before, or maybe you had a deal unwind, or maybe you're frustrated, you know, take a breath and make sure that when you're on the phone, when you're doing this follow-up, that you're going all in and you're in the positive mindset. Because otherwise, when you say something like this that I'm about to say, you can sound really lame and unnatural and not authentic to you if you're just saying it to say it, but you don't actually believe it. So something along the lines of internet customer comes in, I would call from my office line, I get the voicemail, I hit pound, and I say, "Hi, Eliana, good morning. Elise here with ABC Motors. Hey, I wanted to thank you for inquiring online. It shows here, it looks like you're doing a little bit of research on a new Chevy Tahoe. Had a couple quick questions for you to best assist you. Do me a favor and ring me back today. My phone number, my office line that I'm ringing from is going to be area code 805-441-3398. Notice what I did there is I slowed down when I said the phone number, right? Didn't rush through it. That is my office line. Again, I'm going to be in the office here till about 7 o'clock tonight. I'll also be sure to try you back a little bit later as well, just to make sure we connect. Look forward to speaking with you soon. So the biggest part of that voicemail that I typically don't hear is that expectation. That expectation that, hey, if you don't call me back, I'm going to call you back, right? And you have to make sure that when you say your voicemail, again, you're in a positive, you're going all in, you actually believe what you're saying. You're not just saying it to say it. Utilize your tone inflection, because otherwise you can come off just you can come off very scripted and robotic. So what I would do when I was putting myself through training and when I wanted to be the absolute best that I could be, anytime that I needed to rehearse phone scripts or voicemails, I would actually take my iPhone and record myself and listen to myself, right? Because that's what the customer's hearing. And ask yourself, hey, if I listen to this, do I sound positive? Is this somebody that if I was a customer I would want to call back, right? That I would want to speak to? Because I hear a lot of people say this exact verbiage, but it can come off completely different if it's, hey, Eliana, Elise here with ABC Motors. Had a couple quick questions for you. Just wanted to thank you for inquiring online. Ring me back when you have a moment. 805-441-3398. I'll try you back later today. Bye. Right? So it's if you're just saying it to say it, but you don't actually put your emphasis on the things that you need to fluctuate with your tone inflection and so forth, then it comes off completely different. So make sure that you don't sound lame, right? Put your personality into it. Make sure that you're positive and energetic. Now, a lot of times when a lead comes in, we get an internet customer where we see their first and last name, email address, and a lot of times we get this phone number. In fact, a lot of times the name, isn't a legitimate name. Like if we got an internet customer that said Justin Timberlake, right, and the phone number was 555, and the email address looks legitimate, but, okay, Justin Timberlake at a 555 number, right away, it's oftentimes, from our perspective, we get frustrated and we're like, gosh, this is just a lost lead. This is somebody that they couldn't even put in their real phone number, their real name, right? But a lot of times they do that because you've given them no reason for them to trust you yet. So with this process, if there's a legitimate phone number, obviously you leave a voicemail. But if there's, obviously a phone number that doesn't have, if there's a customer that doesn't have a legitimate phone number, then all you have is email. That's going to take you to your next step of sending a video email. So if you have a phone number, you leave the voicemail, and then right after that, your first impression to the customer is going to be using video. Now, I use a platform called BOMBBOMB Video Email. A lot of you on the webinar today have heard me talk about it. Shameless plug here. I do affiliate with them, and I have a hookup rate of $49 month to month. But more so, I'm going to show you the value of what video email does as a first response. Video email you can break down into a personal video email, or you can even pre-record video emails and have them installed into your CRM. So what's the difference between personal versus generic? Personal video email is going to be where you actually record a video from your smartphone, from your webcam, and it's personal to that customer, right? So you can record your video specific to the customer's name. You can mention the vehicle that they inquired about, and it only it takes less than 1 minute. A lot of people go, I don't have time to do that. It takes less than, or however long it takes you to say your video email, which usually I like to keep under a minute or so, is how long it's going to take you to send it. It's very easy. On the last Elise Kephart Internet Process version 1.0, I talked about video email as the first impression, but I did it back then. The technology wasn't updated, and I talked a lot about utilizing YouTube for that. I'm going to go over the difference between that in just a moment. So that's a personal video email, right? And it's more powerful because it's exclusive to that customer. You're giving the customer, remember that first thing, you want to provide them with excellent customer service, and you're giving the customer that above and beyond experience where you're not an automation, right? They can see who you are, even if you're not a cradle to the grave internet salesperson, you're just a BDC rep. You're the first face, you're the first voice, you're the first person that's communicating with that internet customer that inquired online. Now, there's also generic video emails. The difference is you can pre-record these, upload them as video emails in your CRM, so they're just drop-in sends, and it takes only about 10 seconds to drop and send it because it's pre-recorded. Now, whether it's personal or generic, these are the video email topics that you can utilize, right, for ways to use video email. So in the example that I just left, where we called the internet customer, we left a voicemail, right? You can have a video email that mirrors pretty much that same message, only your video email would say something along the lines of, you know, hey, good morning, Eliana. My name's Elise. I'm a customer care advocate over here at ABC Motors. Just wanted to make this video to introduce myself. I'm going to be the one helping you out, and had a couple questions for you in regards to your request you'd sent over for information on that Tahoe. Do me a favor and call me when you have a moment. My number is listed below in this video. It's 805-441-3398. I'll follow up with you a little bit later today as well to make sure we connect. So you'll see here in, you know, usually with that first video email, I'm mirroring very similar to what I said in the actual voicemail. But what I've discovered is you have various types of customers, right? You have customers when they come into your CRM as an opportunity that maybe inquired, all that you have is that they're interested in a vehicle. They inquired online somewhere and it shows the vehicle of interest. But that being said, if you've ever used Auto Trader Traded Marketplace, or it's now Kelley Blue Book, where maybe they don't say that they're interested in buying a vehicle, but they're interested in trading in their vehicle, well, that type of video email and that voicemail is going to be a little bit different. So you'll see the way that this is broken down is there's two different pathways with a customer, right? You can send a video email after the fact, after you left a voicemail, or it could be just sending them a video email because you didn't have a phone number, but the whole purpose at that point is to get engagement, get a phone number hopefully, and give them a call. If you get TRUECAR leads, right, you can send a video email after you leave your voicemail, where it says, hey, Eliana, it's Elise over here at ABC Motors. Want to make this quick video so you could put a face to the name, know who's on the other end of the computer and email. I saw that you had inquired through TRUECAR, and you're doing research, looks like, on a new Chevy Tahoe. You should have received a certificate from TRUECAR, but I did have a couple quick questions on my end as well. Just to make sure that I provide you with the best, most accurate information. Do me a favor and call me back. My phone number is listed below this video. It's da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'll try you back later today as well to make sure that we connect. Look forward to speaking with you soon. So voicemail and no phone number for all your different type of opportunities. Internet customers, trade-in customers, TRUECAR, customers that inquire about best price, right? We don't want to just shoot off a best price. We know that with those types of customers, just like any customer, we want to get them on the phone, hopefully overcome that best price objection. But nonetheless, the purpose of wanting to get them on the phone is they could just put in the notes, hey, shoot me the best price. But we know from our industry that there's a lot of different variables that go into best price, right? There could be rebates, there could be applicable rebates, conquest cash. Are they going to be financing or leasing, which could qualify them for different rebates? Do they have a trade-in and so forth? So for my voicemail and my video email for best price, I usually, again, I'm trying to sell that phone call. I might say something, let's say it's a customer that doesn't give me a phone number, so I'm sending off this video email for a customer that wants pricing. I'm going to send a video email that says, hey, good morning, Eliana. My name's Elise. I'm a customer care advocate here at ABC Motors. Hey, I saw that you requested pricing information on this new Chevy Tahoe. Happy to provide you with that information, but I did have a couple quick questions just to make sure that I provide you with all the correct information and the absolute best deal. Do me a favor and call me back. My number is listed below this video here's my number, and I'll be sure to follow up with some additional emails a little bit later today as well, just to make sure we connect. So best price, you know, you can kind of notice a pattern here. If they inquired about financing, you want to acknowledge about that. You know, I have a few ways we can go. We have a few ways we can go in regards to a loan approval for you, but I had a couple questions. Do me a favor and call me back today. If you have sent a quote, so if your feet are to the fire and let's say you've sent a quote to a customer, this is what I call after quote, which is you send them a quote of some type if you absolutely have to. Let's say it's a long distance customer and you don't hear back. Well, you still want to follow up with those customers to get them on the phone to see what the next step is. So utilizing video email after the fact. If you do any type of data mining, unsold traffic, appointment confirmations, manager appointment confirmations, sold, thank you, birthday. So kind of the sky's the limit with video email, but it's all guided. If it's a fresh internet customer, it's just one piece of the puzzle, again, to try and get that engagement, take your engagement to a live phone call. So you'll notice again my repeated messages that if I'm saying it on a voicemail or if I'm saying it on a video email platform. Now, real quick, I have a Gmail open right now. So let's say that I'm a customer, right, and I'm shopping for a vehicle, and this is what my Gmail inbox looks like. This might be something that this maybe is something that your emails look like right now, right? There's a lot of words, maybe your banner up on top, and some other vehicles that maybe the customer could possibly be interested in. Well, the reason that I don't like this is, A, it's a lot of words. Nobody likes to read a lot of words. Nobody cares that you've been in business for 40 years or whatever the case may be. Trying to confuse them, or really try, again, by putting inventory in here, you know, a lot of times customers can get click happy on that, and you're taking away the purpose of what an email or video email, for that matter, is supposed to do, which is getting a phone call to an appointment. So by giving them other ideas, I mean, if they were already set on a Honda Pilot and now they see this, they might start questioning if the Honda Pilot was the right vehicle. They're not on the phone with you, though, so you don't have an opportunity to overcome any of their objections that they may be coming up with if they read your email, as they read your email. So this, a lot of times, is what we see in emails, a lot of words, and then, you know, hey, let me bombard you with some other inventory, right? But there's no, what we're doing at this point is we're taking the customer farther and farther away from that phone call, right? Because we're using email as a main form of communication. So if you got an email like that, which is a lot of words, in my last 1.0 Elise Kephart process 2-3 years ago, when I was talking about this, I talked about video email, but back then this is how I did it, which was I included what's called a JPEG image, and it hyperlinks out to YouTube, right? So I would put my video emails out on YouTube. Well, the downside to that is a couple things. There's an upload date, so if it is any type of generic video email, it shows when it was uploaded. So it takes away the fact that it's you know, the customer usually might question, well, was that personally made to me because it was uploaded, you know, 6 months ago? And then also over here, there could be a competitor's video, right? Since it's hosted on YouTube, there's a lot of additional videos that the customer can click on now that they're on YouTube, right? So that was the old way of doing things. That's a way that I used to do video email. Now I use a platform called BOMBBOMB. And so imagine if I showed you the other two examples. With BOMBBOMB, you get a video email that looks like this. So it's very clean, and you can see, look how engaging this is. It takes the first 3 seconds of this video. So this representative put the customer's name on a whiteboard. So when they see their name on the whiteboard in this moving image, they're going to click on that. There's the video email. You'll notice there's no other YouTube videos. There's the text to the email actually transfers over. And you can customize, you know, what you want your call to actions to be after the fact, but much more cleaner than posting it on YouTube. And literally, this video you can record from a webcam or a smartphone, and it takes less than a minute. So very easy. Some other examples is I think we have Bruce, I think, on the webinar today, but this is William Mizell Ford. They kind of do the same thing. I gave them this little pointer where they take the customer's name again, and for a video email, they hold it the first couple seconds of the video. So if you're Caitlin, you're going to see that, and now you have, you know, a personal video from that representative or from the dealership, and it's a really amazing way to stand out, right? You look at this.
That's really good. I like that.
You look at this versus you look at this, right? This is a lot of words versus this, something like this, or our good friend Kenny Landrum, you know, he sent me a birthday video on my birthday, and he usually, you know, waves or does something in the video where, again, it stands out from just plain traditional email. And there's no upload date, there's no additional YouTube ads or anything like that. So you can customize this kind of essentially however you want, but just different ways to use video email. You know, Kenny does a really good job with, I mean, he does it for birthday customers, you know, anniversary customers, unsold traffic customers, and so forth. So he's awesome. Shout out to Kenny. I think he's on this webinar.
He is on the webinar. He's already written it, and he said, by the way, BOMBBOMB is the bomb. He loves BOMBBOMB, and thank you for turning him respond to that.
Yeah.
And lots of people are shouting out to Kenny. So Kenny is awesome, apparently. Kenny, hi. Glad you could make it here today.
So now we've left. Oops. So now we've left. Oops. Let me figure out what's going on here. We've left a voicemail. We've sent a video email to the customer. Okay. And a lot of people go, well, what if? A lot of times I get the question, well, what if? And I apologize here. I'm getting caught up with the slides. They go, well, what if it goes into spam? What if that video email doesn't get to them? Well, I like to make sure there's no loopholes in this process. So the third step is what I call a confirmation email. This is something that you can load into your CRM, and when it's loaded into your CRM, it takes 1 second to drop and send. Now, a confirmation email is going to look something like this. It's very short, and all that it says is, hey, Eliana, or hey, customer first name, if it's an autofill. Please check your autofills, too, when you're sending out any type of quote-unquote templates. This is Elise at dealership name. Hey, I just sent you a video email and some important information. Wanted to make sure you received it okay. Let me know if you need me to resend. Sent from my iPad. Now, even though this was sent from my CRM and it wasn't sent from my iPad, I signature any traditional email that I do. It's very short, just like this, and it's all signatured, sent from my iPad, sent from my iPhone. Because again, what I'm painting a picture here is, or the picture that I want to paint to the customer is that I'm not templated, right? That I'm giving them the individual attention. So if you've ever gotten an email sent from my iPad or sent from my Samsung, you visualize that person writing it from their smartphone individually to you versus it being something that you send out to everybody. So I like to sign my signature a lot of my plain text emails, such as you see here, with sent from my iPad. Now, something additional that you can do is there's a website called bit.ly. And usually what I'll do is, this is BOMBBOMB, for example. Let's say I just sent this video email to Adrian. I can take, it gives me a URL to that video email, and I can take this URL. Now you'll notice it's just a random bid.us link, but I could take, oh, did I freeze up?
Did I freeze up? Did you freeze up? Yeah, your screen is frozen.
Oh, this happened last time. I think last time I did this. So
last time. When did this happen?
This happened on the last Elise Kephart 1.0. Let me try an option. Okay, I might have to shoot, Eliana.
Wait, your computer is locked up?
It's not. Oh, let's see. Oh my, yeah, nothing's happening here. Command. Because you can see my mouse. Is my mouse moving right?
No, I don't see your mouse.
You don't see my mouse at all? It just shows the vid.us link?
Yeah, but it looks like it's doing something because the little thing. Ralph said, "Are you clicking it wrong?"
My whole screen doesn't. Nothing works when I do Command Option Escape. Command Shift Escape.
People are blaming the Post-it note.
Yeah, it probably is. So what's the best? Because I can't.
Jason said, "Click harder." I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Okay.
Well, let me go ahead and do this. What I can do is I can keep the on. Oh wait, it's unfreezing or something's happening here. Okay, maybe something will happen here. Otherwise, are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. What?
Ooh. People are saying because it's an apple.
No, how dare you?
They're saying to shake it or drop it on the ground.
What's the? Is there a phone number that I could dial into right now for the audio, and then I'll restart this, or shoot, or I can log in from my laptop. Can you get to your
GoToWebinar interface?
I cannot. I have my laptop though on a different computer. My whole computer is frozen up right now.
Okay, because I can't give you the phone number. It has to come from GoToWebinar. So if you're on GoToWebinar, then you would check, which one you want to do, whether it's VoIP or phone. I can't give it to you because mine would be different than yours.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. If I log on from my laptop right now, will it give me that number?
Yes, it will.
Okay. All right. Technically, I will be right back. 2 seconds. I'm just going to grab my laptop and log back into this. But we're going to pick up right where my computer screen is being frozen. So 2 seconds. I'm just going to go grab my laptop right now. Apologies, everybody.
By the way, Audience, your your comments are so funny. I have to point out, Bob says the Russians did it, which I love. Change the host. Troy, bite your tongue. Trevor asks, I got in the webinar late. Will you guys be sending a copy to us so I can see the first 35 minutes? Absolutely. This is being recorded. Yeah, we're recording all this awesomeness right now. So we will be sending out recording links to everyone. Thank you so much for asking that. Peter says to put it in rice. Elise, can you put it in rice? No? All right. Let's see. Shirts for everyone. Let's see what else. Because it's an apple. I don't have an apple. I heard they were pretty good. I didn't even know that they even locked up. I'm surprised it locked up. I didn't think it would.
All right, everybody, 2 seconds. I am logging onto my laptop here.
Wonderful.
And I might have to have you show the slides.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second then. Let me pull it up. Sorry about this, everyone. We're going to get this rocking and rolling. It was just too much awesomeness for that computer to handle. I have to split it up into a second computer. All right. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Do you remember what slide number you were on, babe? Elise? Elise, are you there? Okay. Is everyone else there? Everyone else is there, right? She's gone? No, she can't be gone. Page 36 in her handout. Stephanie, you are a rock star. Let me just say. Okay. Page 36. Got it. Okay. And let me get this over here. Elise, where'd you go? Elise, are you there? Oh my gosh, Elise, you're killing me. All right, well, I got the webinar, I mean the presentation up. So I know, right? Hello. Elise, where'd you go? Come back to me. All right, so who does everyone think is going to be in the Super Bowl? Okay. You may want to stop the recording. Yes, if I stop it though, I can't start it back up. Sharpie says, why don't you just take it from here, Eliana? What? Let's see. Anyone but Pittsburgh. Go Packers. I tell you, Aaron Rodgers is looking really, really good now this time of the year. Benjamin says, Eliana, you've done enough of these that you should be able to present on your own. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much for the vote of confidence. Oh my, a lot of people are go Pack go. Yes, go Packers. Wow. All right, so Packers is it. Steelers and Green Bay, huh? Atlanta and New England. But my in-laws are hardcore Packers fans. No, not the Pack. Falcons. Elise, I see you, but I don't hear you. Nope, still not hearing you. I see your mouth move, though. This is all good stuff. It's getting better. Can you see my screen? Shake your head yes or no. Okay, good. You can see my screen. This is good. Are you there now?
There we go. Yes.
There you are. Phew!
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Good, because my little dog and pony show was not going over very well with the audience.
Oh man, I could hear you the whole time. I left you burning there. So my apologies, everybody. So let's go and pick up on this confirmation email. So confirmation email.
it's again, you build it into your CRM so that it's just another way of letting the customer know, hey, did you get my video email okay? A lot of times customers will respond to this and they might say, oh, you know what, I did, but I'm going to be off work at 6 o'clock, ring me then, right? So now you have a plan of action on what to do next. Eliana, if we can go ahead and go to the next slide. Thank you, thank you. Now this is what I call a VIP packet. So we haven't even got this customer on the phone yet, but again, this process is designed to hit every angle, go all in, get this customer engaged so that when they think car buying, hey, I'm doing car research, hey, this is who I'm going to go see, there's no blind spots on where you're coming up, right? Because you've left them a voicemail. You've sent them a video email with the confirmation, so that's pretty much going to guarantee that they got it. The confirmation they get again, because it's plain text, it's very simple, there's no images or anything that could prevent it or that could put it into a junk file or a spam file. And this is what I call the VIP packet. If you go to the next page, Eliana, what's inside this VIP packet is going to be a couple things. Now, this is one of those things, you build it out once, you never have to really worry about it again. Next, what you're going to have is you're going to have a cover letter. You can build this cover letter within your CRM so that the customer's information autofills, their first name and address when you send it out. That comes up already, but it's also going to have a second page in it that's going to be a why buy from us. All right, so you can build this again in Illustrator, or if you have Microsoft Word, just another page that you can put in this envelope that says why buy from us. Really kind of narrow that down though, and you need to have that confidence of why should a customer do business with us at this dealership. If you don't know that answer and you're saying like the typical stuff that everybody says, oh, well, we've been here for 35 years and we're family owned, well, everybody's saying that. So you really have to think outside of the box as far as what, why should a customer do business with you? What are some of the benefits? You can have another page in this VIP packet that has customer reviews. So maybe some quotes or some reviews of what customers have said about doing business with your dealership or with you specifically. If you're selling the car, you can pull these from Dealer Rater, from Google Plus, or from Yelp as well. And then, any type of accolades and awards that your manufacturer may be known for. Maybe I think I just read that the Honda, because I follow a lot of Honda stuff still, that the Honda Ridgeline won Truck of the Year by Motor Trend. So putting little articles like that in this VIP packet. And what you're going to do, let's go ahead and go to the next slide, Eliana, is you're going to put all of this into an 8.5 by 11 envelope. And you're going to Sharpie their information on the outside. You don't fold any of the papers. You just put all the papers inside and you send this in the mail. If you don't have their address, normally you can find their address on whitepages.com. It's pretty easy. And I would send this out. And I know that customers would get this, right, because when I did get them on the phone, or if they came in for their appointment, they would come in with their, their pile of stuff that they bring, and they would have this 8.5 by 11 envelope. And, or if I was appraising their trade when they came in for their appointment, I would see my 8.5 by 11 envelope on the passenger side, like the husband or wife was looking at it on the way to the dealership. So you'll notice a pattern here again. I'm not missing any loopholes. I'm hitting them from all angles so that every form of communication that there is, they're getting a response from me, right? Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. And this is going to be about texting. So I think somebody earlier said, hey, well, I text the customer. Now, from a technicality standpoint, you do need to, I always am a firm believer of abiding by the proper ways to text, which requires an opt-in. And so that basically is getting permission from the customer that it's okay to text them. Most of us, as we know, are no longer on those cell phone plans where it costs like 10 cents a text message. Most of us just have it included in our cell phone plans. I mean, even my grandma text messages me, but it's really cute. I should pull it up. She signs her text messages. I'll show this because I just thought of this. This is funny. So if we look at the people that are texting, a lot of it's not just the younger generation and so forth. This is a text from my grandma. I don't know if you guys can see it on my webcam, but she basically wished me happy birthday, and then she said, love you, Grandma K. And I said, Grandma, I know it's you, right? Because I have her number saved in my phone number, or saved in my phone book. But when we're talking about texting customers, it's a good communication tool. A lot of us text, but we want to make sure that we get the opt-in first. So if you go to the next slide, this typically is what most CRMs have when you opt in for text, or when you get permission to text. If you go to the next slide, It says something along the lines of ABC Motors would like to text with you. Text yes to allow text no to stop. Data and message rates may apply. So you want to be sure to get that permission first. If they do opt in for text, then you want to take that text message to a phone call. Text messaging is a great tool, but it's, again, that piece of the puzzle where, just like email, where you want to get that engagement to take it to a phone call. Because if a customer gives you an objection, well, I'm just looking for price, or what kind of financing can you give me? Having a text conversation about this or an email conversation, A, takes a lot longer, and B, it's more difficult to overcome those objections that the customer may be thinking. And then they can reply whenever they want when it's over text or email. So I recommend taking text messages and anything that I'm doing ultimately to get it to a phone call. So something along the lines, once you have permission of, hey, Eliana, I just left you a voicemail. Are you free right now? Go ahead and go to the next slide, if you could. Next slide. Oh, perfect. And hey, Eliana, just left you a voicemail. Had a couple questions. Let me know when you have a free minute. Thanks. Right. So I'm not utilizing this. What questions did you have? I'm not utilizing text message or email, for that matter, to start discussing the car or start. I'm utilizing it as a step to get that phone call. So if we go to the next slide, go ahead. Just as I mentioned, texting as well as video, email, and everything that we're doing here is a great tool, but it's all guided still towards getting to that one closer step to an appointment, which is going to be a live phone call. So that's what I call first round. Everything that we just went over, right? We still haven't got the customer on the phone, because that's our first step. And so the days of just calling the customer once and emailing them, you'll notice that this process is a lot more intense, and we're not even done, because 1 to 3 hours after that, so 1 to 3 hours after I've left a voicemail, sent a video, email confirmation, opt-in for text, and mailed out the VIP packet, now let's say it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. So 1 to 3 hours after, go ahead and shoot over the next slide for me. I am going one more slide for me. I'm going to call that customer again.
It's a very long time. I click the button and then it takes like 20 seconds to change.
No problem. So after I've left one call, I'm going to call that customer again. So this is going to be my second call to the customer. And I'm going to call from a different line. So I like to mix it up by calling from my cell phone, or if you have any type of software program, I use, Eliana, real quick, you can see my webcam, right?
Yes.
Can you allow me to share the screen? Can you allow me to show my screen? Will that be quicker? Because I have the slides on my screen too.
Okay, let's do that.
There we go. Is this better?
I don't know. I don't see it yet. Hey. Yeah, we do. All right.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So I use this, let's see, can I just exit that? Nope, don't want to do that. So I use a software program called TalkOptions. This was created by our friend Jerry Tebow. But what I use TalkOptions for is it allows you to purchase different area code numbers. You can buy multiple cell phone numbers. You can route it back to your dealership, but that way you're calling from another phone number. I always like to buy an 808 area code number, which is Honolulu. Shout out to anybody in Hawaii on this webinar today. But a lot of times when you call that customer again, right, from an 808 number, they're going to pick it up because they're like, Honolulu, Hawaii calling, right? And now you have connection. Now, if you get an internet customer where maybe you can see their phone number is a 805 and where you're at, your area code is 317. Well, I might utilize a software program like TalkOptions or something, another program where I can get a number where if they call it back, it's going to route back to my dealership, but I'm calling from an area code that they might recognize, right? Because I'm trying to get that connection on the phone. Now, when I get their voicemail, I'm not going to leave a voicemail for their second call. And the reason for that is because on their call log, it's going to show up as a missed call, and they might call it back. And again, all the numbers that you're calling from is a secondary line, but when they call it back, boom, it routes to you. Now you have connection. You know, they might call and say, hey, did someone call me from this number? And now you have a live phone call. And that's the whole purpose of the first step, right? Getting engagement to a live phone call. Now, I have a series of what I call drop-down emails, and this is something a little bit different from the 1.0 version that I discussed a year ago. A drop-down email, these are, and I hate the word template because it has such a negative word to it, but These are all emails that I hand wrote. They're very, very short, just like my confirmation email that you saw. And they're uploaded into your CRM. So all that you have to do at this point is after you leave a second voicemail, you're on day one, you can drop down day one email 2 based off of if it was an internet customer, if they were inquiring about trade-in information, TRUECAR best price, and so forth. So that way it saves me the couple minutes of having to write the same email over and over again. I'm really not a fan of templates unless they're written by a real human being. They seem legitimate, they're short, and that's what all these drop-down emails that I provide are guided towards, right? So so at this point, just to refresh, you've left a voicemail, you sent a video email with a confirmation, you've mailed out the VIP packet. 2 hours later, you call again from a secondary line, 808 Hawaii number, or you match your area code to be that customer's cell phone. You hang up, and then you drop down another email. Now, I'm not done because then 1 to 3 hours, so now let's say it's 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to call that customer again, and I'm going to call from another line. So I might call from another number that I purchased. Again, all the numbers are going to route back to me. If I get their voicemail, it's really quick because I'm not going to leave a voicemail this third attempt, and I'm going to drop down and send another email. So a lot of you guys go, oh, this is a lot of follow-up. How many people got pissed at you? Well, you're not even done yet because now it's coming towards the end of the day, and I'm going to call again. So this is my 4th phone call for this customer in one day. I'm calling again from my office line, and I'm leaving another voicemail. Only the difference is I'm going to set the expectation that I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow. So this closing voicemail, my 4th call for the day, okay, so I've opened up with a voicemail, 2 calls without a voicemail. My 4th call for the day is going to sound something along the lines of, hey, Eliana, Elise here over at ABC Motors. They've been trying to reach you today in regards to your online request you sent over for information on that Tahoe. I'll leave my number again. It's 805 area code 441-3398. I'll be here for a couple more hours this evening till about 7 o'clock tonight. But if we don't connect tonight, I'll be sure to follow up with you first thing in the morning. So then the next morning, what do you think happens, right? You're going to start this process over again. And after that voicemail, you send a drop email. So if we look at kind of the way that this process works, you get a notification, you leave a voicemail, you send a video email with a confirmation, you mail out your VIP packet, all that stuff's all ready to go. You opt the customer in for text, hoping that they allow for text messaging. A couple hours later, you're going to call a second time, drop down a plain text email without leaving a voicemail, 1 to 3 hours after the fact. You're going to do that a third time, also with a plain text email. You're going to close out your day with a voicemail, again, setting the expectation for the following day and dropping down a closeout plain text email as well. And you repeat this process. Day 2 comes along, and you call that customer again. Opening voicemail. Hey, Eliana, Elise over here at ABC Motors. Wanted to ring you first thing. Was unable to speak with you yesterday, but did want to connect. My phone number here again is, I'll be here till 7 o'clock again this evening, and I'll try you back a little bit later today as well to make sure we speak soon. And you go through that process, right, where you voicemail, plain text email, you call every couple hours. And the way this actually breaks down is after a period of 10 days, not including texting, right, not because I don't know if the customer's opted in for text, but when you calculate all in just 10 days, it's 83 attempts in 10 days when you calculate in phone calls, video emails, plain text emails, and so forth. That doesn't include text messaging because there's no guarantee that a customer will opt in, obviously, for text. That also includes the VIP packet and the confirmation email. So that's 83 attempts. Now, I know a lot of you are going, wow, that's a lot of work, right? Well, a couple things. When you can build this whole platform out, it really doesn't take a lot of work. You really can focus on your phone calls every couple hours, but the majority of your work is done. The video emails, as we discussed, take less than a minute to shoot, and it's very easy to do now with a webcam or smartphone utilizing that BOMBBOMB platform. So when we compare 83 attempts, right, in 10 days, a lot of people go, gosh, that's, how many customers got upset with you? To this day, I utilize this process whenever I need to get somebody important on the phone, and it's brought me more success than failure. I can count on less than one hand, so 4 times when I sold cars where a customer would call my sales manager and say, hey, that Elise girl follows up too much, right? But I guarantee your sales manager is never going to scold you for too much follow-up. And again, the way that this process is developed, we're not just calling this customer a bunch of times randomly, right? We're setting the expectation from the beginning that we're going to continue to follow up. We're utilizing video email and that VIP packet to personalize it. And then, all of our plain text emails are very short, and we're calling every couple hours. You'll have more success with it than you do failure. And you know, you'll get those customers engaged and on the phone. One of the key things though is right from the beginning, right? Your repetitive message needs to let them know, hey, I'm going to follow up with you just to make sure we connect in case I don't hear back, right? But you have to make sure to put your own spin on it so it doesn't come off as too, so it doesn't come off too aggressive. You need to make sure that it comes off smooth and it comes off genuine, right? And that sometimes takes practice, but you're letting the customer know right from the beginning that you're going to follow up if you don't hear back. Now, if the customer doesn't have a phone number, right, we talked about the Justin Timberlake with the 555 phone number. At that point, you're going to start off with a video email, right? And then at that point, you're still connecting with that customer every 1 to 3 hours. The only difference is you have your drop-down emails because you can't call them, right? But you're still making multiple attempts per day to get that customer engaged. Now, connection is made, right? So the customer calls you back, or you're able to get them live on a phone call. The next step is you need to make sure your phone skills are on fleek, that your phone skills are on point, and you know how to take a phone call to an appointment. So one of the most common things that I hear is, you know, we hear the BDC agent or the internet rep talk to the customer. One of the first things I hear is, hey, Eliana, yeah, I just wanted to see what questions you had for me. How can I help you with, you know, the Tahoe that you inquired about? That's a very dangerous question. What questions can I answer for you? Because you're basically saying, hey, throw as many objections as you want at me to take me farther away from this appointment. So here's what I recommend, and this is my bulletproof pathway to get an appointment when you get the customer on the phone. You want to make sure that it's Eliana that you're speaking to. So, hey, is Eliana there? Hey, Eliana, I hope I didn't reach you at a bad time. Hey, my name's Elise over here at ABC Motors, and the reason for my call, I just wanted to thank you for inquiring online with us. It shows here you're doing a little bit of research on a new Tahoe, correct? Nobody's going to disagree with that, right? You're not being too firm and saying, hey, I see you want to buy a Tahoe, but they wouldn't have been online if they weren't doing some type of research. So it shows here you're doing a little bit of research on a new Tahoe, correct? Awesome. Hey, so that I better understand your needs a little bit, you know, let me ask you a few questions. Was it only the Tahoe that you're looking at? Or if I had something really nice to save you some money, you know, are you looking at other SUVs as well? This is what I call opening up the funnel, which is going to allow you the opportunity to see, is it just the Tahoe that they're looking at, or are they looking at other vehicles as well? It's going to help when you schedule the appointment, right? Because if they open up the funnel to you, which a lot of them will, then you have more availability to schedule that appointment. Okay, awesome. So again, any preference? Are you looking for? Do you have a preference on a Tahoe 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive? Any preference on the exterior, darker or lighter shades? All right, perfect. Well, hey, prior to us speaking, I was actually able to verify my inventory. We do have great availability of the Tahoe right now. Speaking of which, when are you more available? Right now or later today? Now, you'll notice when I go for that appointment, I go for an A-B choice. Customers are more likely to choose from an A-B choice. But a lot of times what happens at this point is they might come up with an objection. They're going to, at worst case scenario, they're going to come up with an objection at that point. Well, I got to talk to my wife, got to talk to my husband, was trying to get pricing information, wanted to see how much money I would need down for a lease. I live far away, can you put some figures together for me? At this point, you have an objection, right? And so that's where the making sure you know how to overcome those objections. You know, you've studied your phone skills to do so. But a lot of times, like I said, without even realizing it, we butcher this phone call right from the beginning and we put ourselves in the objection corner. Because when we say, hey, you know, what questions can I answer for you? That's an open-ended question to the customer. And they can say, well, yeah, actually, no, I'm actually looking for best pricing, or I'm shopping quotes, right? We don't want to put ourselves in the objection corner. So make sure that your phone structure, when you have a live phone call, is guided towards an appointment, but you're not rushing to the appointment, and you're taking the proper steps to get there. But if you get an objection, know, again, how to overcome that objection. The first thing that you always do when you get an objection is agree with them. So if they said, yeah, no, we might be able to come in this weekend, but I'm really just kind of putting some figures together and seeing where we're going to be at. I'm shopping a few other dealerships as well. You know, hey, Eliana, that makes a lot of sense. You know, a lot of customers that I speak to online have told me the same thing, so I completely agree that price is definitely an important factor. You know, I really wouldn't expect to earn your business if we can get you the absolute best deal. So I've agreed with the customer. I've said what they said and repeated it back and let them know that, hey, it's cool. I understand where you're coming from. And then utilizing an objection handling technique to overcome that objection, right? And then you round back to the appointment. Now, that being said, your presence is always your leverage. When are you more available to visit with us? Later today, or does the weekend work better for you? And a lot of times you might have to have 1 or 2 or sometimes even 3 or more. You need to have your belt buckle, what I call your belt buckle of objection handling techniques, ready to go so that you can overcome the objection and attempt back to that appointment. Now, if you can't get the appointment, if you get a customer live on the phone, there's only 3 things that should result from that live phone call. It should result in an appointment, a soft or tentative appointment, or a phone call appointment. Meaning there never should be a time in your CRM where you see an internet customer that you spoke to on the phone, they're still thinking about it, they're just doing research, and that's all the notes you put. If you can't get that appointment and you can't get that tentative appointment on an internet customer, it should always be a phone call appointment. Hey, not a problem at all. It sounds like you said you're going out of town here for the next week for work. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to send you some information on that Tahoe that you'd inquired about. I'm going to send you a quick video, and then let's plan on reconnecting next Monday when you're back in town. Does morning or afternoon work best for you? That way, when you call them on Monday, it's expected, right? Because you put that you scheduled. Your worst case scenario, you're going to schedule a phone call appointment for what's going to happen. And they might say, I've heard this a lot of times too, you go for the appointment, you go for the soft appointment, they're like, no, I can't even schedule anything tentative right now. I really got to talk to the wife. Let me just call you back. Hey, not a problem at all. I'm going to go ahead and make note that we spoke today, Eliana. Go ahead and run it by your husband on, your scheduling. It sounds like you're super, super busy, which I completely understand. And then let's plan on connecting before the weekend on Friday to schedule the time that you guys can meet with us. Okay, so if you can't get that appointment, follow-up appointment, there should be a phone call appointment of what's going to happen next. That way, again, when you call on that phone call appointment, you don't have to, they're expecting your call at that point. Or even on your voicemail at that point, you can say, hey, have on my calendar to reconnect with you in regards to that Tahoe. You had mentioned you were going to be speaking to your husband. I did just want to connect. I had a couple questions. Again, give me a ring back. My phone number is, and I'll follow up later today. So you'll notice that this process, the first step was very intense, but all guided essentially towards getting that engagement, getting the customer live on the phone. And then once you get them on the phone, make sure, again, that you know how to take that phone call to an appointment, to a tentative appointment, or at minimum to a phone call appointment. Never, ever, ever in your CRM should there ever be a customer that you've spoken to on the phone where you don't know what's going to happen next, all right? So when I go through this process, a lot of you guys are like, wow, that's really intense. I'm not really sure. I'm definitely not doing that because I'm only calling maybe once or twice. And some of you guys even might be coming up with what I call excuses or negative things on why this wouldn't work. And I just say, hey, look, take out the negativity. You have to go all in with these customers to make sure that you make that connection. There's no such thing as too much follow-up. Your managers will never get upset if a customer says, hey, that Elise girl followed up with me too much. But make sure that you understand the art form of this, right? Again, we're not just calling the customer 4 times a day randomly. We're utilizing this process that's a combination of creating personalization to enhance the experience with video, email, and that VIP packet. But right from the beginning, your messaging that you're always saying is you're setting the expectation of the customer that you're going to continue to follow up. Because I would rather have a customer call my manager and say, hey, Elise followed up with me too much, than have these phone calls. Oh, you did? Oh, what did you buy? Right? We've heard that before. And that's because there's someone else out there. If I was still selling cars, there's someone else out there like me who's gone through my training, who's following this process, that is working harder than you, right, to get the engagement, get this customer on the phone and schedule the appointment. This is one of my favorite quotes by Mark Cuban, and he says, work like someone is working 24/7 to take it all away from you. So a lot of you on this webinar are probably very competitive like myself, and so when it comes to internet customers, again, we know that we obviously want to sell them a car, but our best opportunity to do that is an appointment. Our best opportunity for an appointment is a phone call. So I need to go all in and make sure I'm not missing any loopholes to get this customer engaged and get them on that phone call. Because ultimately, when it comes to car sales, and I can remember the first car that I sold, it ultimately is a business, and you've probably heard this a million times. You're a business within a business. Even if you're working in a business development center and you're not necessarily selling the car all the way through, right, your commission typically is based off of how many appointments you set, how many show, and then maybe even a portion of what sells. So you want to make sure that you're treating this like your business, right, because you're commission-based. So going all in to, again, get that customer engaged, get them on a phone call, and know how to take that phone call to an appointment. Some suggested resources, some good books that I read this one recently. This is by our good friend Uncle G, Be Obsessed or Be Average. And that's a really good one just to get it's kind of a follow-up book to the 10X rule. But I have that on audio, and I've read it now a couple times. But it really just, it's a good resource to get your mind right and know that if you want to get the attention of, in this case, your internet customer, get the attention of anybody, you can't just settle for, hey, I'm just going to do what's barely required of me. All right, you need to go above and beyond. Otherwise, you're out of the game. And then I think we have some friends over at Frank Myers Automax, but Tracy Myers wrote a book a while ago that he sent to me and autographed, and I absolutely love it. It's called You Are the Brand Stupid. And that book is about, again, when you think of a brand, right, you want a customer when they're thinking of buying a car, if they have inquired online, you don't want them to think of anybody else. You want them to think of your dealership, and if you sell the car, your name as well, right? So being able to, do the things that others aren't willing to do, because ultimately you're the brand to the consumer. So some good books there to pick up if you want to feed yourself with some positive things. I'm also going to be having a training manual released here these next few months with my own online academy. But here's some action items to take away. And I know we went through a lot in this webinar, but make sure, if you listen to the beginning part of the bulletproof voicemail, make sure that you're changing up your voicemail and that you're putting in that little tweak of setting the expectation to the customer. Master your voicemail, practice it, make sure that you don't sell lame, and that you would want to be someone that a customer would want to call back, but make sure you hit all those bullet points in your voicemail. And then make no excuses to hit the customer from every angle, right? Voicemails, you're calling multiple times, you're utilizing video email as a way to create personalization and set yourself apart. The VIP packet, opting in for text and repeat. So those are all the different, literally in 2017 now, there's no other way of really being able to communicate with the customer, right? You're hitting every angle. And if you're afraid of doing video email because of what you look like, or because of, you didn't get your hair done, or whatever the case may be, it's not an overproduced video email. Video email is about being authentic to you. You're selling yourself. You're selling your personality. And if you look at just, the way that you talk to your friends, or if you were at a conference or at a social event or a cocktail party or whatever it was, people hang out with you. You have friends, you have associates because they like who you are, and that's what you're selling in video, right? So making sure that you start video email now if you aren't utilizing it. And then I have an app that's absolutely free. Open up your browser on a smartphone, ekx.cardtap2ps.com. That gives you 24/7 access to me, as well as there's some free scripts. And I'll include this later on today. I'll upload this PowerPoint to my app as well. So make sure you download the app if you don't have it already. And Eliana, are you still there?
Of course I am. Where the heck else am I going to be?
Oh, I know I went through like a big thing. I was like, oh, shoot, did I get disconnected? I guess you would have probably texted me or something. So so that's the Elise Kephart Experience 2.0. Again, I know we went through a lot of material, had some technical difficulties, so I do appreciate you guys hanging with me and letting Eliana talk about the Super Bowl there for a little bit. But so now we have question and answers, and I think we're going to be giving away some prizes too.
Oh my gosh, so many questions are already in from the audience. So take a drink, Elise, relax a little bit. You can go on to the next slide, because yes, audience, we are going to be giving away some prizes now. Now, if you were here at the beginning of the webinar, then you heard that we got a ton of great prizes to give out. We got 4 chances to win something, all right? So the first 2 prizes we're going to give out are an Elise Kephart shirt. It's not your typical T-shirt though, right? It's like cool.
It's a moisture. Yeah. So if you have any of the shirts, they're made by Body Armor and Nike. Like a moisture wicking material. It doesn't wrinkle. It's not cotton, and they're really comfortable. So
dry fit.
High quality. Yeah. Dry
anyway,
fit. Yeah. Basically.
It's cool, and I want one, and I'm not eligible.
Where I order them, they call it moisture wicking, but dry fit, I guess, would be the
Perfect.
more common name for that.
So if you are a winner, if you're the first person to write in the correct response to any of our giveaway questions, I need you to immediately write back in, let me know what dealership you're from, and send me a mailing address so we can get you your prize. Okay, here we go. First prize is for one of these shirts. Good luck, everyone. What percentage of prospects buy something different than what they originally inquired about? Okay, stop, stop, stop. We already got a winner. Oh my gosh, there's hundreds of people writing in. We already got a winner, I promise you. We got it, we got it. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, let me just scroll back up. There's hundreds of people on here. Okay, first person to write in the correct response, of course, Brad Pascal. Congratulations, Brad. Yes, it was 86%.
And let me know what size, too, for the t-shirt. Because I have the logo.
He said he was going for the record. Every time he's on, he's a really fast typer. All right, Brad, congratulations. But Brad, Brad Pascal is, of course, with Street Auto Group in Amarillo, Texas. And I need a mailing address from you, sir. And you know what? You can sit this one out because the rest of them, we're going to give everyone else a chance to win. Here we go, everyone, for another shirt. Good luck, everyone. What did Elise say was the most important element of doing video email? We have a winner. All right. First person to say yourself or be yourself was Jeff Dodds. Congratulations, Jeff Dodds. You are winner number 2 today. Jeff Dodds, I'm writing down your name. It's official. Congratulations. All right, so that was 2 shirts we gave away. We still have some more prizes to give away. Now, Jeff Dodds is with Alderman's Kia. Congratulations.
Yep.
Now, Jeff, don't forget to send in your mailing address. Now, Brad Pascal and Jeff Dodds, you can sit this out. We have 2 more prizes to give away. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. And you might have to do a little bit of math on this one. So do a little bit of addition. Here we go. Oh, and this, I should say, excuse me, this is for the Logitech 1080p webcam and microphone, so you can hook it up to your computer and keep making great video emails. According to Elise's Internet 10-day follow-up process, how many times would you reach out to a prospect? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Goodness. That's a lot of people. Hey, Elise, what's the correct answer?
83. Ding, ding,
83. Carolina Shirley. The very first person who wrote in was Carolina Shirley with the correct question, correct answer. Excuse me, Carolina Shirley, not a stranger to winning a prize on a DealerOn webinar. So congratulations, Carolina. All right, let me scroll down. Carolina's with McCarthy Morse Chevrolet. I know, you want to recount, don't you? Okay, well, but you know what? We have one amazing prize. Carolina, don't forget to write in your mailing address, my love. Okay, one amazing prize left. This is it. This is the one. Now, Brad, Jeff, and Carolina, you're already winners today, my friends, so please give somebody else a chance to win. This is not an easy question. In fact, we're looking for 5 answers. What are the 5 steps to a bulletproof voicemail? And if you are the first person to write in all 5 steps to a bulletproof voicemail, you will win yourself a CRM deep dive in with Elise Kephart herself for 2 hours. She's going to work some of your leads and show you firsthand how to raise your closing ratio. Awesome prize for you and your entire dealership. Imagine you can have everyone in there listening in, and oh my gosh, my screen has so many answers. So I'm just going to scroll up and see who has the first 5 answers here. Let's see. No. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Introduce yourself. Thank the customer. Give a reason to call back. Share contact info. Set expectations. There we go. Jessica Clappa. Jessica Clappa, nice. You are our grand prize winner. Congratulations.
What dealership is Jessica with?
Clappa. Jessica Klappa, give us the goods, baby. She's with Andrew Toyota in Milwaukee. Congratulations, Jessica Klappa, grand prize winner. You are going to love that. I hope you, I mean, you could keep it to yourself, but I kind of hope you share it with all of your other salespeople over there. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of our winners. And you know what? We give away cool prizes every week. So come on back to another DealerOn webinar, and who knows, that could be the day you win a great prize on a DealerOn webinar. But for right now, we're going to congratulate Brad Pascal, Jeff Dodds, Carolina Shirley, and Jessica Klappa. Thank you, everyone, for playing along. And, of course, we got to thank our good friend, Elise Kephart, for her incredible generosity. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun, everyone. All right, now we're going to get to your questions. So if you have questions for Elise, I know we already have a ton of questions in the queue. Elise, of course, I'm going to ask you to keep your answers as brief and concise as possible so we can get to as many questions as possible. All right, everyone.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, yes, before we go any further, I do have to give a great shout out to the Dave Sinclair dealer, Ford Lincoln Dealer Group in St. Louis and Pacific, Missouri area. Thank you so much. They have about 100 or so salespeople and sales managers listening to this call, so we want to thank Byron Womack and, of course, the owner, James Sinclair, for having them sit in on this. Appreciate it, and thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the show. Okay, first question comes to you from Sean. Sean says, if a customer provides a phone number and email, but says to respond using only email and does not respond, would you use the phone number?
Yes, because a lot of times if they with a lot of the forms that I've seen, sometimes it just automatically, the way it pushes into the CRM says you know, only contact by email. If it was handwritten by them as notes where it says only email me, then I'll probably only use email, but I'm still going to send the video email to try and sell the phone call. But if it's just like an automated push to the CRM where it says contact by email only and there's a phone number, I'm going to assume that if the customer put a phone number, if they really didn't want there to be called, then they would just put in a phone number that was invalid or a 555 phone number. So, but for the most part, to answer your question, yes, if there is a phone number, I still am going to call them.
Okay. Sean, thank you so much for the great question. All right, next question comes in from Andrew. He says, our organic web forms have a default disclaimer giving us permission to call. So is that good enough? Can we just do that?
Giving permission to call?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, unless, unless, like I said, in the notes, if the customer says, do not call me, I'm gonna call the customer. That's going to be my best leverage. So absolutely, the phone is your most powerful thing. Everything that you're doing in this process is guided towards getting that phone call.
Okay. All right. Next question comes in from Dan. Dan is referencing something you said earlier on in your presentation where you said that you wouldn't use their cell phone. He wants to know why not a cell phone call.
No, I would use, I wouldn't use, no, so I would use the cell. So when I make a second and third call, I'm calling from my own cell phone, or I'm using a tool. I use a product called TalkOptions that allows me to call from a different number. But the phone number that they put on the lead form could be an office line, a home phone, or a cell phone. I'm going to call whatever, however many phone numbers I have, or whatever phone number. But yeah, any number that I have, I'm going to call. There's no limitation on, hey, it's a cell phone, I'm not going to call. There's a phone number, I'm calling it.
Okay, that's it, people. No more about phone calls. If there's a phone number, she's going to call it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, right.
Stephanie wrote in, she said, when is the best time to use video email for a data miner?
So what I would do is utilize the same process. I would call the customer first with a data mining opportunity. I would leave a voicemail that would say, hey, Eliana, Elise here over at ABC Motors. Hey, I'm calling in regards to your 2014 Honda Civic that you purchased with us. I was reviewing your portfolio and I have some important information. Call me back when you have a moment. My number is da-da-da, and I'll be here till 7 o'clock tonight. I'll be sure to follow up with you later today as well to make sure we connect. Boom. After that voicemail, just like in this process, I'm going to send a video email right after that, only it's going to be a video version of what I just said. Hi, my name's Elise over here at ABC Motors. I hope you're having a great day so far, Eliana. I just wanted to make this video to introduce myself. I did just leave a voicemail for you in regards to your 14 Honda Civic. As mentioned, I do have some important information. call me when you have a moment. My number is listed below the video, and I'll reach out to you a little bit later today as well. So utilizing it as a tool, right, to get the phone call. I never want to, in an email or even a video email or text, give away all my cards, right? Okay. I don't want to say, hey, that vehicle is available. When are you available for test drive over text or over email? Because at that point, I've given away all my cards. Why do they need to call me back at that point if I'm giving them too much information?
Gotcha. All right. She also says most customers that I data mine do have a phone number, but roughly 30% are missing email. So in those instances, just go right for the phone number, right?
Yeah, so just go right for the phone number, and I would try and opt them in for text and make it. I would still send a video email, but I would, if I got authorization to text them, I would text them the video email.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you so much for the great questions. Okay, Sean writes in, do you have a Canadian rate for BOMBBOMB services? I don't know that it would be different than her regular rate.
No, I can't control the currency exchange. It's $49 US month to month. But I will say if you get over 10 users with me, then it goes down to $39 US, US dollars month to month. Anything 10 users or more.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, Joe writes in, any thoughts on response logics for price quotes?
It's, my whole process is designed to get the customer on the phone. I know there's some systems out there where they shoot out pricing and everything to the customer. The downside is if I'm a customer, for example, my husband and I are in the market for a Tahoe. I don't know if Gavin's worked on this, but he's been trying to sell me a Tahoe now for a couple months. But I don't know too much about the Chevrolet product as far as differences between an LT and LTZ and so forth. So I might be online, and I might be thinking that I want an LT with leather, but maybe I click on an LTZ. So if you automatically shoot me over a quote, and it's, you booked it out for an LTZ because that's what I clicked on because I didn't know any better, then I might be sticker shocked, right? Because now I'm 15 grand over what I wanted to spend because the system picked up that I wanted an LTZ versus in my mind as a customer, I might want an LT with leather and some other equipment that doesn't cost much. So that's why I'm not really a fan of giving quotes. It gives you no opportunity to verify the vehicle, and then at that point you're falling into the trap of lowest price wins. So.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for answering that question. All right, I'm not sure what this question is about, but I'll read it anyway. Lowell sent in a question. Does this format get filtered into Gmail's promotions inbox rather than the main inbox?
The Gmail that I had up, I don't have it on this computer. I haven't, I guess it's just going to depend on the settings of that individual's inbox. Normally if you have a name, so it's not, ABC Motors, but it's Elise Kephart, right, as the name, and normally that'll get pushed into personal versus promotional. When I started doing video email, my name was the Elise Kephart Experience, so a company, right, versus an individual name, and then it got put into promotional. So I like to make sure that the sender is being sent by an individual name, right, so your name, not your dealership name. But it should go into the normal inbox, and then, like I said, by all means, any emails after that, like the confirmation and plain text, should go into the normal inbox as well, because especially if they come from a name and they don't have any hyperlinks or images or anything to go into any other folder. Hopefully that answered. So in Gmail, what he's saying is when someone sets up a Gmail, there's different, unless you take it off, there's different inboxes that it can go into. What I found in testing and when other people test as well is if the video email, for example, your emails are coming from Elise Kephart versus the Elise Kephart Experience, they're more likely than not going to be in the general inbox versus the promotion.
Right. Okay, next question comes in from Jazz. He says, are we able to upload videos using a mobile phone?
Yes. That's correct.
Done.
Yes,
all right. Can. Thank you, Jazz. Next question's from Adam. How does BOMBBOMB integrate with CRM solutions like VIN Solutions? And Matthew says, can you use BOMBBOMB with eLead?
Yes. Both to yes.
Both are yes.
Yes. Yeah. Both. I could show you right now how to do it, but the answer is both to yes. VIN Solutions and eLead, yes, and yes.
Excellent. Perfect. Let's keep going. Carolina wrote in. By the way, Carolina is one of our winners. She says, we are literally the oldest dealership in our city. We started in 1928, and people do seem to think that's pretty cool. Should we keep mentioning that? Because I remember earlier you said no one cares about that.
Yeah, right. No, it's. I will say I've been to dealerships. I think I always keep record of this. I think one of the dealerships that I work with has been around since 1917. Like, so that is. But I guess I just more so mean if you're going to be saying that, find other creative ways of why a customer should do business with you. I definitely think if you've been around since 1917 or 1920, or it's been, substantially, a substantial amount of time, or you're one of the original Chevrolet dealerships, or whatever the case may be, yes, but make sure that you have other value propositions other than, hey, we've been here for a long time, right? Because if I'm a customer, that's cool, but what other, what are other things that make it attractive on why I should buy a car from you, other than the fact that you've been there for, since 1917. That's cool, but make sure that you have extra toppings on top of that. So.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Carolina. Great question. All right. Next question comes in from Matt. He says, Florida law doesn't allow us to text asking for permission to text. We have to get permission explicitly in written form outside of a text before we can even send one. So, Elise, if you lived in Florida and had to abide by those rules, what would you do? I mean, would you just not text?
No, so the way that would work is if you go to, for example, if you have on your website, so think of it like if you've ever been on an airplane and when you're getting your ticket, it says, hey, how would you prefer for us to give you updates, text messaging or email? And you say text messaging, you enter your phone number. Well, now it's called a double opt-in. Now you've opted in for text, but they send you a text anyway that says, hey, you've opted in to receive text from American Airlines. So same type of thing. If you have on your website a text opt-in, so something like of this nature where a customer fills out their name and phone number, there's an opt-in basically here on the website. They send that, and then once they send that, they still get a text message that says, hey, you opted in to receive text from Elise Kephart, text yes to allow text no to stop. So I would recommend the double opt-in, which basically means, having on your website and all your advertising something of this nature where they fill it out to allow themselves to get text messaging. And then once they fill out the form to allow text messaging, it still sends them a double confirmation saying, hey, you filled this out and you're okay to receive text. So very similar to the way that the airlines do it, if you've ever gone through that experience. So that counts as written consent and doing it that way.
All right, Matt, I hope that helps you out. All right, next question. Oh my gosh, so many questions, but we still have hundreds of people on the call, so let's keep going, okay? So next question, Dan wrote in. He wanted to let you know that Sideline is a free app that gives you a different phone number.
Oh, cool.
Not a question. All right. Stephanie wrote in, realistically, how many fresh ups per day or month can you handle with this intensive process?
So I would always focus on, so when I did this process when I sold cars, I would focus on scheduling myself, having 2 to 3 appointments a day. That would guarantee me at least one car sale a day. So, and basically the mindset needs to be when you're not with a customer, if you're working these customers cradle to the grave, when you're not with a customer, and let's say, you have an appointment that lasts 3 hours and then your next appointment doesn't come in for another couple hours, anytime you're not with the customer, you're on the phone, you're utilizing this process. But again, when you structure it right, you get it set up, a lot of your groundwork is kind of already laid out there. So to answer your question, I mean, even on days where I pulled hat tricks or I sold 4 or 5 cars a day, then I was doing some type of follow-up even after the fact at night. But all the more means, everything that I learned when I sold cars or when I worked retail has has been beneficial to me with what I do now, having my own consulting and business, or my own training and consulting business, and having to get, general managers and sales managers and people that don't want to talk to quote unquote vendors on the phone. I use the same process that I developed when I sold cars, and just the mindset needs to be whenever you're not with a customer face to face, you need to get customers face to face with you or in the dealership, and so always working the phone and email and so forth when you're not with the customer face to face.
Okay, all right. Let's try and go faster because my whole screen is filled with questions. Okay, about BombBomb again because we have still a number of questions coming in about that. Rich, for instance, wrote in, are you able to get BombBomb videos to work within the CRM?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Joe said, does it integrate with DealerPeak too?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. And is there any integration with BombBomb directly with CRM solutions? That one comes in from Adam.
Well, any other questions about the CRM? CRM is that seems to be. So to answer your questions, yes. There's only been one CRM, and I'll call them out, called AutoBase, that you can still send the video emails, but it just takes a couple extra steps because they don't host any other HTML outside of their server. But every other CRM, DealerPeak, Reynolds and Reynolds, VIN Solutions, DealerSocket, eLeads, CRM Suite, Dominion, I just worked with yesterday, so all of it works. And if you go through the questions, I'll pull up an example here and show you real quick how it works.
Okay, while you're pulling that up, let me just ask you this one that came in from, of course I lost it. Of course I lost it. It was right here. Oh, here we go. This one comes in from Joe. He says, do you recommend BombBomb over YouTube?
Yes, I do. The reason being YouTube, there's way too much other activity on YouTube. The last thing that you want is the customer clicking on another video that could be your competitor's video, or taking them, into YouTube land by sending them a video.
Watching cat videos and babies.
Right. So, let me see if I can pull up. So just to give you an idea here, I'll show you guys. When you sign up with BombBomb, I hook you up with it. You download what's called a Chrome extension, and when you download the Chrome extension, you're able to pull up your video gallery here. So let's say you did a mobile version or a webcam version. You pick whatever video you want, and then you highlight it over with your mouse. You hit Control-C, which is a shortcut for copy. And then I'm not really going to send this because this is obviously a real active CRM. But then at that point, we can build you kind of a template within your CRM so that it has call to actions and everything. But you just paste the video in just like that, and then you put in any text below. And if you were to hit preview, the video would play right now. So it's the same regardless of the CRM, like I said. But you need a Chrome extension to do so. You run it out of Chrome, but it allows you to send it through your CRM.
Okay. Audience, I know we're way over time. I don't think we're going to stop anytime soon. There's hundreds of you still on the call and so many great questions, and all of you are still hanging on. So let's get to your questions, okay? If you can hang on, gosh, we'd really love it, just in case we have a question about your question or you have a follow-up question, all right? So here we go. In order, I'm doing them in order, all right? Next question comes in from James. He says, are your products a la carte currently in a CRM contract but would love video integration with VIN Solutions?
I apologize. What was the question?
He says, are your products a la carte?
Yes.
I'm currently in a CRM contract, but would love video integration with VIN Solutions.
Yes. So if you have VIN Solutions, you can get BombBomb with me, and I can show you and walk you through how to use the two, just like I did. I obviously did a fast version just now, but you can buy it separately. It's not contracted with any CRM.
Okay, wonderful.
But get it through me.
Okay. Thank you, James. All right, next question comes in from Lawrence. Says, can you go over the VIP packet information again, please? What should that packet include?
Yes. So let me take a screenshot of this, or if you download my app, or I think Eliana uploaded this PowerPoint. So the VIP packet is going to have a cover letter. And it's a cover letter, and then that's the first page where you sign your name on the bottom. You can even write a personal little note like, hey, look forward to speaking with you soon. A why buy from us page, a reviews page where it has quotes and so forth from some of your customers on why they did business with you, and then accolade and awards on your manufacturer. So it's about 4 pages. You flip it in the envelope, don't fold it, Sharpie the outside, boom, send it out.
Boom. All right. Follow-up question from Ralph. He says, can you show us an example of a cover letter?
Let me see if I can pull one up while I have you. But yes. It'll take me 2 seconds, but I will do that. I have one on a Facebook group. So next question, and I'll pull it up here for you guys in a moment.
All right, no problem. Okay, so the next question comes in from Cody. He says, this sounds great in theory, and we'd be all about it. What is a good way to manage time to do all this when one of our BDC reps may receive 10 to 20 or more leads or opportunities in a day and still have to properly follow up with leads received from days past?
So the reason that this happens is because you're picking your lowest, you're starting from the beginning, you're picking your lowest hanging fruit first, the freshest stuff first, and by second or third day, you have a very high engagement. So you know at that point, like I said, if that customer scheduled an appointment, a tentative appointment, or they have a scheduled follow-up appointment for this day. So what I mean by that is the reason why a lot of people get overwhelmed is because you haven't heard back from these customers and they roll into the next day, they roll into the next day, they roll into 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and so forth. When you start from the lowest hanging fruit first, so like today's internet leads, and then go backwards and you utilize this process, because that engagement rate gets higher, you're gonna see results, and so you're gonna know in a very short period of time, usually within the first day, usually within the first couple of days, of what's going to happen next to that customer. Because you don't have a lot of rollover or residual flow that rolls in. So when I utilized this process when I was a one-person BDC, I did both. There was a period of time when I sold cars cradle to the grave through the internet, and I also was a one-person BDC because this process works so well. And I handled 300 internet leads as a one-person BDC. Cradle to the grave, I did about 100. And resulted in the same type of engagement, appointment settings, and so forth. So
beast mode, holy moly! all right.
So
I'm
still finding this
cover letter.
Yeah, cover letter, an example of a cover letter here.
We'll be getting good. All right, Cody, thank you so much. Great question. All right, next question comes in from Andrew. He says, I like the non-pricing with email. What about OEM requirements? They require pricing on all first responses. Do they?
Okay.
I didn't know that. So if your OEM requires it, then I guess you do it? Right.
Yeah, I mean, if your OEM requires it, then obviously there's, you can structure your responses to do so accordingly, but nonetheless, then you're still following up with after quotes, right? You still want to get that customer on the phone, because if you do send them a phone number and you send them a quote and they still don't respond to you, the purpose doesn't change. Now you sent them a quote because your OEM requires it, but you still need to get them on the phone to figure out, A, is that the right vehicle, and what the next steps are going to be. So here was a video email that was sent to a customer. I have a pricing video, and then this is an example of, once it loads here, of this isn't a full VIP packet that we mailed out, but this is kind of what a cover letter would look like, where you can have your information, dealership name, signature, and then you can send that off in the mail. So pretty easy. That would be your cover letter. You can build a lot of these within your CRM so that it autofills the customer's name and so forth.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Leave that up on the screen for a little bit. Let people screenshot that or whatever, okay? Okay, great question. Thank you so much. All right, next question comes to you from Chuck. He says, I've always tried to subscribe to keeping emails shorter, but when we get secret shopped by our manufacturer, they expect us to hit on several points, which requires a longer email. How do we find a happy middle ground?
That's a good question. I know a lot of the OEM mystery shops kind of go out against everything that I said. As far as
do they?
Yeah, no, they do. I've had, but I mean, it's in the end, we can review that together. I'll even do a free consultation with you, whoever messaged that, where we can look at what your OEM mystery shop or what your OEM wants to see, and we can formulate, video email templates or video emails and kind of what your first response should be at that point. But, nonetheless, the whole purpose of internet process, regardless of what OEM you have, should be that you want to get that customer on a live phone call. And if you have to send a quote because that's a requirement, do so. But nonetheless, you're still reaching out multiple times a day to get that customer live on the phone.
Right.
Okay. Because at that point, you can say, hey, I sent you over a price. Thanks for calling me back. I sent you over a price quote. Did you see that? Okay, great. Okay, so that I better understand your needs. The quote that I sent over was for a new Chevy Tahoe LT. with leather. Does that sound correct? Is that the only Tahoe that you're doing research on? All right, perfect. Well, hey, prior to us speaking, I was able to verify our inventory, and we do have great Tahoes available. When are you more available? Right now or later today? At that point, they're going to bring up any objections that you hopefully can overcome to an appointment, or at minimum, you get a follow-up phone call appointment.
Okay, Chuck, I hope that helps you out. All right, next question comes in from Cassandra. She says, what is your favorite no-show appointment comeback phone follow-up? Did you get that? I think what she means is, what message do you leave after somebody doesn't show up for an appointment? Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
So if they don't show up, I actually put the blame on myself. So I'll leave a voice. They're on my roundabouts too, and I'll call that customer. And I'll say, hey, Eliana, it's Elise over here at ABC Motors. Hey, we had you scheduled to visit with us this last Friday at about 2:45. Just wanted to connect with you and ask you a couple questions about your visit. So I'm assuming that they came in. Call me back when you have a moment. I'll follow up later today. And then even though I know they didn't come in, once I get that customer on the phone, hey, thanks for calling me back, Eliana. Hey, reason for my call is I wanted to apologize. I had on my calendar here that you were scheduled to visit with us on Friday. I know we got super swamped on Friday, and I just want to make sure that you were properly taken care of. Oh, you know what, actually, Elise, I wasn't able to make it in. I had my kid's soccer game I forgot about. Hey, not a problem at all. Let's go ahead and reschedule. What works best for you, tomorrow or Saturday or whatever, tomorrow or Wednesday.
Slick, Kephart.
I don't like to put the blame on them. I like to still get the phone call for missed appointments and then take that phone call to reschedule. So.
Okay, all right, Cassandra, we hope that helps you out. All right, Jeff wrote in, is there a step-by-step process on using BOMBBOMB? I sort of understand it, but I'd love something to walk me through it.
So BOMBBOMB, it's not my company, I'm just an affiliate with them. You can go to bombbomb.com and sign up for a free trial. It's 2 weeks, you don't need a credit card. But when you're ready to go live, you need to get it through me to get that $49 a month rate, and I build you a mobile responsive template. So what I mean by that is, like, I'll put your graphics and your call to actions and everything in your template so that it looks a lot cleaner.
Nice.
But you can sign up for a free trial. It's 2 weeks. Again, no credit card required, and when you're ready to go live, just contact me and I will get your discounted rate, and I'll build you that mobile responsive template. So when you sign up, that's the best way of figuring it out. Is you sign up, you play with it, you put the app on your phone, and you figure if you can use Facebook Messenger or Snapchat or Instagram or any of those easy social media sites, you can use BOMBBOMB. It's super, super easy. Fred Flintstone can use it. My 4-year-old daughter knows how to use it already. So.
Jeff, I think you got this. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Okay. A follow-up question came in from Chuck and Ralph. They both want to know, is the $49 for BOMBBOMB per user or per dealership?
Per user is the way that it's structured, depending on how you're going to be utilizing it. Hypothetically, you would be able to have one account for the whole dealership if you're sending everything through your CRM with that Chrome extension. I don't recommend that, though, because then a lot of videos get kind of clustered with everything else. But if you're looking, I mean, if you want every whole dealership to be on the same account and you're sending it through the Chrome extension with your CRM, then hypothetically you could have one account per user. It just the videos pile up pretty quick at that point, though. But I do have some dealerships that do either or way, individual or for a whole dealership.
Okay, great. I hope that helps everyone out. I don't think I have any other BOMBBOMB questions, but if you have a follow-up question, hey, send it in. We'll add it to the list. Okay, here we go. Next question comes in from Tammy. Tammy says, do you recommend a text program?
I recommend if you can have it in your CRM. I know DealerSocket has one. I think eLeads has one. Bin Solution has a texting. That way it's all in the CRM. Otherwise, I use even for my own, on my website, I use a program called TalkOptions. It gives you everything. It allows you to text, click to call, record your inbound calls, your outbound calls. You can purchase different numbers to call from multiple lines. And if your CRM doesn't do it, that would be my recommendation on what to use for texting.
Okay, thank you so much. Great question, Tammy. Okay, next question comes in from Jeffrey. He says, where do you stand on a 30+, 60+, and 90+ day follow-up? I mean, I know we just talked about the 10-day, but, you know.
Yeah, no, those are built into my system, but I'll share with you, when you follow this process to a T, Typically, you don't have to go 30 days or 60 days or 90 days because in those 10 days, you have engagement with 90% customers. So you know what's going to happen at that point. Meaning, again, you've spoken to them on the phone because you got engagement. You know that, you're going to follow up in 2 weeks when they're back from their vacation or whatever it is. So as far as 30 days uncontacted and 60 days and 90 days, if you follow this process to a T, it's going to avoid a lot of those roadblocks.
Okay. Follow-up question came in from Trevor. He says, what process do you suggest beyond the first 10 days? Thanks.
So anything past the 10 days, then you go all in for the first 10 days. And at that point, if the customer, all right, I mean, put it in perspective. If you've made 83 contacts, not including text, in 10 days, it's not brain
and they haven't gotten back to you?
Yeah.
So to make it stop.
Right,
what are you talking about?
Right. So at that day, you can keep it light at day 12, a day 14, a day 20, 30 days, 45 days, and 60 days. But I'll share with you, usually that's way outside of the process because you don't run into the customers that haven't engaged with you at that point. If you follow this go all in process for the first 10 days, you honestly, you really don't have to, you really don't have to go there. Now, if you're pulling up stuff where before you started this process, it's a lead from 60 days ago that you look at the notes and gosh, they were called maybe twice and they kind of fell off the radar, then you can take it back up again full steam, right? But it's an older lead, but you're going all in for those first 10 days, starting it fresh to get that connection.
Okay.
So.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Oh, great questions. We still have some more great questions, so keep hanging on, everyone. I'm getting to them, I swear. I'm just going in order. Okay, next question comes in from Samantha. This may be an awkward question, but do you have any tips for avoiding the creeper clients? I'm an avid user of text-based communications and video, but I'm noticing a trend of customers being inappropriate. Any professional yet surefire ways to implement some word tracks that shut that direction down? Maybe you should wear a wedding ring.
Right.
Have pictures of your kids and your husband right next to you.
Now, I can remember getting some of those emails when I sold cars, but I just treat it, it depending. Like I said, I don't use text and email as the main form of communication, and usually on a phone call, nobody really, a person is less likely to quote unquote hit on you or make it inappropriate, right? So that's, all the more reason to get the customer on the phone. But obviously, if you get some type of inappropriate comment, at that point you can, if you're not comfortable working with that customer, you can turn it, or you can, I really wouldn't acknowledge any of their comments. Like, let's say I sent a video email, I'm like, oh, you're hot, or whatever the thing is, or are you single, or whatever it is. Then I wouldn't respond
inappropriate.
to any appropriate questions like that. And then when I got them on the phone, I wouldn't even bring it up, or I would turn it if I didn't feel comfortable. But definitely shouldn't. I usually just don't respond to. Not that I don't respond in market loss, but I don't respond to inappropriate comments, and I keep it. What my goal is, which is to schedule an appointment and sell a car.
Well, I thought Samantha would be the only one asking that, but we actually had a few people, like Kendra wrote in, and she said, so glad the creeper question came up. It happens way too much. That's a topic for another day, my friends, all right? But thank you so much for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Okay, yes, this webinar is being recorded, and the link will be getting sent out later tonight, and it will also be posted online at dealeron.com/webinars, where you can click on the link for missing a webinar, and it'll be at the top, all right? So, but you will be getting the webinar recording link sent to you by email in a few hours, all right? So thank you so much. Next question comes to us from...
Okay.
Yes, next question comes from Wesley. Wesley says, the adjustment from standard contact to your recommended follow-up has increased your appointments and sales by what % over a 12-month period?
Well, I'll share with you this. I've been out of retail as myself for, what is it now? It's January of 17. So I stopped selling cars May of 2014. But before I kind of developed this process, and I was just doing video, and I didn't really have the phone skills part of it down, or the actual follow-up process of it down, but I was utilizing video email, I averaged about 20 cars a month off of about 100 opportunities. Once I got this follow-up process down, and I really utilized every, just like we went over every angle to get that customer on the phone, multiple attempts and so forth, then I average 30 cars a month. So, and on a, well, with dealer clients that I have and so forth, their biggest increase is, like I said, seeing that engagement rate shoot up to, 75, 80%, sometimes even 90%, utilizing this process. And then, like I said, avoiding having to follow up with customers 60 days, 90 days down the road because you've already made engagement with the core opportunities that you have.
Right. Okay, Elise, how about you go back to your contact page on your PowerPoint? And
Okay.
Wesley, great question. Thank you so much for asking that. All right, next question comes in from Lee, and it looks like he has more than one question, so let's see. Video, email, BDC person, or the person selling and taking the appointment? That's his first question.
What was it? Video can work for anybody. Video can work for an appointment setter. Video can work for the salesperson. Video can work for managers, even service, which we didn't even, but video, email, all across the board.
So we just video, email for everything. Okay. And then Lee followed up with another question. He says, what is the goal number of appointments out of total leads? So if we have 100 leads, how many appointments should be made? Well, I mean, I hope you can make all 100, but
right. Well, it's again, it's going to take into two factors: what your connection rate is, and how well you can convert a connection to a phone call to taking it down the right pathway to an appointment. But if you really want to aim high, then out of 100 opportunities, you're scheduling 80 appointments. 45 to 50 are going to show up. And then at that point, of the ones that show up, 25 to 30 sales. Those are going to be high numbers. Obviously, the industry average for total close rate is about 10% on internet leads. So that would mean that if you sold 10, 20 showed up, and you scheduled 40 appointments out of 100 opportunities. So there's the difference.
That is a big difference.
Yeah, big difference.
When you did it, you had like a 30% close ratio, right?
30% total close ratio, so I was scheduling about 80% appointments.
There you go. All right, Lee, I hope that helped you out. All right, if you have a follow-up question, let's get to it. Next question comes in from Stevie. He says, how many leads or customers per month do you recommend each BDC agent can actually handle?
Depending on, again, your skill level, right? Because what I mean by skill level is how well rehearsed you are on the phone, how well you understand process. Like I said, when I was a one-person BDC, I handled about 300 opportunities, appointment setting only. But when the key part is you never want to overload somebody with too much if they don't have the process down with what they already have. So if need be, especially if you're just beginning, start it off with 100. That way you can really hone in on that 100 and make sure that you maximize your process, and then build on more opportunity after the fact.
Okay, great question, Stevie. Thank you. All right, next question comes in from Linda. She says, how do you deal with a customer who gives you incorrect information to you or lies? You can see their number on the ID. I didn't know people did that. Do they do that? Why would they do that?
Well, so you're talking about a phone app now? Or...
Yeah, I guess so.
Because, yeah, so it's all about just, again, we didn't even talk about phone ups, but if I take a phone up, then I'm going to say, it's a great day here at ABC Motors. My name's Elise. How can I help you today? Hey, Elise, I'm interested in this Chevy or this Ford Mustang that I saw on your website. I wanted to know what the best deal is. Oh, you know what, that Mustang, that's a really nice vehicle. I know we received a few phone calls on it recently. So I do want to do this before I waste any of your time. I'm happy to provide you with the pricing information and so forth, but I do want to double check to make sure it doesn't have any pending sales on it. It is still available. Should only take me about 10, 15 minutes or so. Are you calling from your home or cell phone? Perfect. And that number is, so if you go with that transition on a phone app, like we didn't even talk about phone apps on this webinar,
I know.
Then you've gotten permission for their phone number, and I've never had a customer on a phone app that's given me bad information for a phone number, because you
I'm surprised at that too.
Right. But if you to answer your question, if you get a bad phone number like on an internet lead, that's going to happen. I've had that happen. But send them a video email and say, hey, it's Elise over here at ABC Motors. I want to thank you for inquiring online. The phone number that I had, I was unable to reach, but I did want to make you this video email to introduce myself, and I had a couple important questions to make sure I could provide you with the most accurate information. Hey, do me a favor and call me with my number below this video at blah, blah, blah. I'll shoot over some additional emails later today as well to make sure we connect. And then every couple hours, I'm banging out plain text emails very short to that customer until they engage with me, and I know what the next step is going to be at that point.
Wonderful. All right, Linda, great question. Thank you so much. I hope that helped. All right, next question comes in from Rich. Hi, Rich. He says, when a customer requests vehicle pricing or any information really, do you respond with information and you are unable to connect by phone? Do you send information?
So what I would do is I would leave a voicemail. I would acknowledge what they said, right? So I would say, hey, Rich, it's Elise here over at ABC Motors. I saw that you had inquired about some pricing information on one of our Dodge Dart. I did have a couple quick questions for you just to make sure I can provide you with the most accurate information. Go ahead and give me a ring back when you have a moment. My number is, and I'll follow up with you later today. Video, email, I'm going to kind of repeat the same thing, but I'm going to acknowledge what the customer asked me, right? I'm not necessarily going to sell the car and go over all the information in the video because I'm trying to get the phone call, but I'll acknowledge and say, hey, I wanted to make this video to introduce myself. I saw that you had asked about some pricing information on one of our Dodge Darts. There's a lot of different variables and a lot of different ways I can save you money, and I had a couple quick questions for you just to make sure I provide you with the absolute best deal. Do me a favor and call me back. I'll leave my phone number again below this video, and I'll follow up with you later today as well to make sure we connect.
I feel like it's so effortless for you, and for other people they have to practice it. I mean, you just know exactly the right thing to say. You don't stumble over your words. You've been doing this way too long.
I'm doing it really fast too. But ultimately, even if a customer wants pricing, and I never want to lay out my cards again in an email or a phone call. I'm guiding everything that I do towards a phone call, because if I lay out my cards, then they're reading that information on their smartphone or in their email at their own time, or even a text message at their own time. And if they come up with any other questions or any other objections at that point, I don't have a live connection with them, so I don't have an opportunity to overcome whatever objections they may be coming up with in their head at the time. So.
All right. Rich, thank you so much for the great question. Hey, we're in the home stretch now. We got less than 10 questions. What? Okay, here we go. Let's go. Next question comes in from Tanya. She says, with the opt-in text, if you don't get the permission within 2 days, would you try again? Or just still wait to get the permission first?
I would try to get permission first again. Yeah, I would send an opt-in every day. But, yeah.
All right, next question comes in from Amy. She says, would Elise use voicemail drops to engage customers?
I'm not a fan of voicemail drops, and here's why. Because voicemail, the whole purpose is to get the customer on the phone. So a voicemail drop never actually calls the customer; it just drops the voicemail. If I can call the customer and they pick up, then that's what I want. So I'm going to take the few seconds to make the call, hoping that I can get connection. So I'm not a fan of voicemail drops unless it's, I've seen some success with mass sale announcements, but I want to get these customers on the phone. And so if I call them and then they may pick up. And so I'm not a fan of voicemail drops for this type of follow-up.
All right. All right. Thank you, Amy. All right. Next question comes in from Ryan. Ryan says, when sending an email, what do you recommend for the subject to be on the first video email? Ooh, that's a good question. We never covered subject line, I don't think.
Yeah, so I usually put video email from Elise at ABC Motors. I don't have my old Gmail up. And then regarding just left a voicemail. So I usually put video email from in the subject line.
Okay, got it, got it. Ryan, great question, thank you. All right, next question comes in from Sean. He says, do we have any numbers on response rate by customers who receive video email compared to non-video email? I don't know if there's been like a big section of research on this.
Yeah, so BOMBBOMB is the only video email company that has that moving image as their video. And there's a blog that they wrote where it received over 80% more engagement with that moving image versus just a freeze frame. Ooh. So, yeah. And if you just put it in perspective, I've never been a math whiz or anything like that. I can just tell you from results, and I can just tell you, it's very simple just to put yourself in the customer's shoes. If everybody else is doing plain text email and they get a personalized video email, especially something with a moving image like that, then it stands out, it sets yourself apart. You're going to get first dibs on that customer.
There you go. All right, Sean, great question. Thank you.
I just spoke with, actually I have this written down. I just spoke with someone yesterday. They've been using video email. They started off with a trial. They had it for just a few days. He said he sent 10 videos, 10 videos to 10 customers. 6 of those customers bought, and 4 of them actually mentioned it was because of the video that they bought, because it was so personal. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's great. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I wish you had said that earlier. Okay, great. Great question, Sean. Thank you very much. All right, last handful of questions. Robert says, wouldn't having, quote unquote, sent from iPhone, unquote, at the bottom of our emails seem unprofessional or as if it was sent haphazardly? Do you think people care?
I've never. I do the send from my iPhone or send from my iPad, send from my Samsung, whatever you want to title it, to create that personalization, right? To create that it was written individually for that customer. More because the last thing that I want is for the customer to feel like what they're getting is a template. So
I think we lost your video feed, but we're still hearing you.
died. Yeah, my MacBook just died. Shoot, because I don't have my
Just died.
Yeah,
Oh, girl, what am I going to do with you? All right, hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull up. I'll pull up the thing over here. Okay, so while I'm doing that, let's get to Henrietta's question. She says, would this system for follow-up realistically work for a BDC rep already handling 283 to 326 leads a month, working 40 hours a week?
Yes, sir, because I did it with 300, and I'm a firm believer. I'm no magical superwoman. You know, I'm just I'm the type of person that's always
disagree with you on that.
very competitive and very motivated, and you know, it's my duty to provide for myself and now provide for my family. So if I can do it, then I can't see why anybody. Once you know, it obviously doesn't happen overnight. You have to understand, like you said, Eliana. You can tell that I know the process in and out. But yes, it is managed. It is doable, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take training, repetition. And making sure that all your stuff is input and installed so that you can move through those opportunities really quick on the fly. And then if your CRM has a click to call option, that helps too.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, last couple questions. Jonathan wrote in, what is the best way to handle TRUECAR leads? I don't know if that's a whole nother webinar subject.
No, no. It's so if you remember in the slides, and I'm bummed that they're not showed up. If you get a TRUECAR customer, it's just like any other customer. You want to get them on the phone. They already went on TRUECAR. They got their certificate. I have their phone number. TRUECAR makes them put in a phone number. It might not be good, but if I do get a voicemail, Eliana, hi, my name is Elise. I'm the TRUECAR representative over here at ABC Motors. I saw that you had inquired for information. Looks like on a new Tahoe. You should have received a certificate from TRUECAR, but I did have a couple questions for you on my end. Give me a call back when you have a moment, and I'll follow up with you later today. My phone number is video email that says the same thing. You can even brand your video email with the TRUECAR logo. And then call again in a couple, do the VIP packet, call again, try to opt in for text, call again in a couple hours, and follow that process. TRUECAR customers, best price customers, financing customers, all internet opportunities are the same. And I'm not sure if the person that won that 2-hour session is still with us, but you know, they obviously receive the free 2-hour CRM dive-in sessions. But if you are on this webinar,
she's still here. She's still here.
You're still hanging on, and you want me to work your lead, like you want to see this process put into place. I do CRM dive-ins with you together, so you can see this put into action. When you get skilled enough, it should be to a point where, even though I don't know the ins and outs of the Chevy product or the Toyota product or the Subaru product, I don't have to know that if I'm focusing on getting engagement and scheduling appointments. Meaning, I can go into any CRM blindly right now because I have this process down and be able to get that engagement using this process. Get the phone call, take the phone call to an appointment.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much. Last couple questions are from Joe and Stevie. So here we go. Joe says, thoughts on Car Wars? I don't even know what Car Wars is. What's Car Wars? Is that a TV show?
Car Wars is a lead source, and a lot of times, Car Wars doesn't give you the real email. It's Mac. Oh no, that's Car Gurus. Oh, Car Wars. Okay, so Car Wars is where they rate you on the phone calls and things like that. It's a good. I mean, any type of you know, the hardest part about phone skills is holding yourself accountable and consistently training. So Car Wars is a good platform to do that. My buddies over at Phone Ninjas is another good way to do that. Anything, you know, I can help train you obviously with phone skills. Anything that'll hold you accountable. And if your calls aren't being recorded, you know, that's a huge part as well to make sure management or a BDC manager, you know, knows what's going on, what kind of phone calls are being made, what kind of phone calls are coming into the store as well.
Okay, last question. Stevie, you've been so patient. I know. Here we go. Last question. He says, you mentioned making phone calls from desk phone, cell phone, talk options, etc. Our dealer requires that we make all of our calls on a recorded line through VIN Solutions. Do you think it will give the customer a bad impression making that many contacts from the same phone number?
If you can probably buy multiple numbers from VIN Solutions, so you can call from different numbers, right? So that it's recorded. If you use talk options, you can buy multiple numbers from different area codes. Those calls also are recorded. If you're in a two-way party state, I should say. So the key is to, you know, call from multiple lines. But if your CRM doesn't do it, there are tools available such as talk options to still have the call recorded if you're in a two-party state and call from multiple lines. So I would still, if your dealership requires that the calls are recorded, that's fine. But make sure that you're calling from multiple lines and, you know, purchase other numbers other than just your dealership local phone number.
Okay. And with that, Elise, like epic, awesome, amazing, holy moly, marathon webinar with you. I feel like she's never going to do another webinar with me, but I hope I'm wrong. Elise Kephart, you are an automotive rock star. Thank you so much for doing this. You are amazing, amazing, amazing. Awesome presentation. Just you. Are you going to be at NADA? Am I going to see you?
No, not at NADA, but I'll be a digital dealer. So.
Digital dealer and women in automotive, right?
And women in automotive, that's correct.
That. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So next time I see you, I owe you a drink, maybe two. All right. Elise, thank you so much. I want to remind the audience a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is going to be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And today's webinar is going to be posted online within 24 hours. Just go to dealeron.com/webinars, and there you can view our upcoming webinar schedule or access any of our past webinars too. And hey, in just another minute, you're going to receive a short survey. Please fill it out because we're looking for any information you can give us on your thoughts about today's presentation. I know it ran long. You don't have to tell me it was too long, but it was pretty awesome. So tell us what you think. We'd love to know. All right. And DealerOn is going to be exhibiting and presenting at NADA in NOLA. And you know what? We brought you something besides our awesome open bar. We're giving away $100 to anyone who pre-schedules a demo. It will also come with a free audit of your choice, either website, SEO, or SEM, or you know what, you can just pick all three. We're okay with that too. And we'll give you a copy of the new ebook on local SEO that we just wrote. You can only get it at the booth at NADA. The DealerOn execs will be delivering killer presentations on everything from mobile site optimization to fixed ops. So come meet me at booth 1161. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. All day Bloody Marys, of course. And I will see you at the show. And dude, we are just following up one amazing presentation with the next. Invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar. 10 awesome customer experience strategies you should be using with none other than Bobby Heron. Now, you might think your dealership has a product or a price advantage, but you better beware. They can easily be duplicated. However, a strong customer service culture, that can't be copied. Furthermore, almost all consumers agree it's the customer experience that's the only true differentiator. When it comes to learning about innovative customer service strategies that sell more cars, we called in another automotive rock star, Bobby Heron, to show us the way. In this extraordinary and fast-paced one-hour webinar, Bobby will share 10 immediately implementable customer experience strategies to boost sales today. Attendees of this electric presentation will learn how to wow customers and create a more effective roadmap to the sale. And best of all, her suggestions won't cost you a dime. She will discuss, that's right, 10 free, simple, effective, easy to implement strategies that can be added to your current process that are proven to turn more opportunities into sales and greatly improve customer retention and referrals. This presentation is only for those ready to dominate their market, close more deals, and reap the huge benefits that await. All others need not apply. Don't miss this chance to invest in your own success and hear from one of the brightest stars in the automotive industry. If you're ready to learn 10 awesome customer experience strategies you should be using, then you can't afford to miss this webinar, so register now. And don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, I'd love to hear from you. Please track me down online. I'm everywhere. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, you name it. I'm on all the automotive social networks. Or you know what? You can just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on another webinar in DealerOn's continuing education series. Take care.
Thank you.